Jesse is back! And Double or Nothing was one of AEW's best shows of all time. I would know. I was there. What a night we had last night. Memories were made. Moments that will live in AEW's history forever. Match of the Year candidates, a cinematic classic. And a crowd that was so hot that if you were sitting there live, you physically melted in your seat. We're gonna go over everything tonight, or this afternoon. I don't even know what time of day it is. We're gonna go over everything today. Jesse's back. We're gonna have a good time. It's Memorial Day. So I hope you have your cold beverages. I don't care who you watched last night. This is the only show you need. Why? Because this is off the fucking script. What is going on, everybody? This is your AEW Double or Nothing post show. I am your host, JD from New York, and I am joined by my very good friend who's making his return today. Jesse, what is going on, man? It's good to see you.
Not much, man. How's everything going out there?
Everything, listen, man, the weather sucks in New York. I wish I was back in Jacksonville, to be quite honest with you. It's 50 degrees. The sun is just now coming out for the first time this weekend. Jacksonville was beautiful. 80 degrees, not too hot, not too humid. But, man, oh, man, it was 1,000 fucking degrees inside Daly's place, man. And I know you heard it live on pay-per-view from the comfort of your own home. We're going to go over all of it, the differences between what I saw live and what you saw at home. But, man, tell us how you're feeling. How does it feel to be back? How you doing? What are you doing this weekend? Happy Memorial Day to you and everybody watching live right now on YouTube. Man, talk to me.
Man, you know, it sounds a little cliche-ish, but, man, it's good to be back. You know, everyone here knows I'm not, I'm on social media and I check it here and there, but I'm not always posting. But I guarantee you, man, I've seen them all. I've seen all the well wishes. I've seen all of the DMs. I was in and out of the chat while I was downstate taking care of family business. And man, I don't know. I don't have words for the OTS family and the support. But I've seen it. I've seen it all. My family has seen it as well. And I again, I have nothing to say but thank you all. It was a rough time. It was a rough week. I have not been home in over a week. My mom lives 2.5 hours downstate in Decatur. So I got the call that things were not going well. So I hopped in the car, went downstate, and the plan was to just come on back, but things took a turn for the worse. And I stayed there for the week, and man, I've never been, it was easily the most mentally draining and just exhausting week of my life. I would wake up at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, get cleaned up by 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm out running errands. By the time I get back to my mom's place or the hotel to get settled, it's about 1 a.m. and I'm exhausted and drained. And there was just so much, man. There's so much family to contact, so many arrangements to do and everything else. And I mean, I've never done anything like this before, so how would I know? But me being the oldest, and I had my sister to help me and my mom's husband. But other than that, man, I felt like everything was on my shoulder. So in time, it got better. The services were Friday. They were beautiful. Everybody loved them. We grieved, and then we partied and celebrated like, anyone else. And then I came back home and finally got a chance to decompress and think about everything and let it all sink in. And I couldn't wait to get back to work. I was texting you. I mean, you were one of about 3 people on my friend side that I was texting because I was just so busy. But it was good to keep up with what was going on. I tried my best to keep up with it. I tried even harder to care because I just cared about nothing. But nothing. Again, I don't have words, man. This OTS family is just ridiculous. The heart pouring. I mean, look. Thank you all. I've seen them all. I tried liking and replying to most, but even if I didn't get a chance to like or reply, I promise you, I've seen it, and I'll never forget it. Thank you all.
Yeah, man. Listen, you don't have to thank me for everything. We love you here. We were at the meet and greet. Hoot Media and I were at the meet and greet yesterday for the OTS Double or Nothing meet and greet, and everybody asked for you. Everybody was there, wanting to know how you were. We had a great turnout for it being not only I don't want to say it was a last minute thing. It was a couple weeks, planned, but Jacksonville isn't the biggest city in the world, and not everybody really wanted to travel still with the restrictions. But we had a fantastic turnout for the OTS meet and greet yesterday. Everybody asked about you, man. We all wanted you there. The energy there would have made you just, it would have hit your soul, man. And then going into the venue, Hoot Media and I were all we thought about was you the entire time we were there. We were like, man, Jesse would love this. Just literally every aspect of it, man. It was while we were sitting in our seats, and I want to shout out Sean Ross Sapp. He helped me and Hoot Media get in contact with people who would get us the press passes for what happened later in the evening. So shout out to Sean. I know I bust his balls and I'm hard on him, because I'm a prick, and that's what I do. But every time he's come up to me in person, he's genuinely the nicest fucking guy. And it makes me think, there are good people in the community. So shout out to him. I was sitting next to him. Coincidentally, which is I texted you that. Yeah, they sat me next to Sab, so there you go. But we were in the venue and we would watch the sun set, and the sun would peer through the little openings in Daly's place, and then you would see that in the ring. And well, I'll talk about that in a second. It would peer through Daly's place through the little slits in the slots of the venue, and I'm like, fuck, Jesse would love this view. It's just a beautiful wrestling venue, and then the post-show scrum afterwards, and we got Britt Baker. I'm like, fuck, I wish Jesse was standing next to me. And then we got Jungle Boy, we got Jericho out there, and then we got Tony Khan, who stood about 35 minutes with us to answer everybody's questions. We'll talk about that as well. But listen, man, I don't want to dwell on what happened this weekend. We're doing Chicago, okay? All Out was announced for Chicago. You saw it last night while watching Double or Nothing. We're going to be in Chicago. We're going to do the same fucking thing, but this time you're going to be there with us.
Yeah, I marked out big for that. I forgot that you slipped me a little inside scoop like a few days before, because I forgot about it. And then when it came up on the pay-per-view, I legit marked out, man. I'm already thinking about making hotel reservations because usually, but they didn't announce the venue. But if it's where it normally is, I'm gonna get a hotel, because where they hold the event here in Chicago, people might be wondering, why are you getting a hotel? You live in Chicago.
This was 5,000 people, bro. This was sold out. And the energy that was in this place last night and how great this show was last night, All Out is selling out in fucking minutes. So it needs to be done. No question.
Yeah, it does. I live about a good hour away from where they hold the AEW events at, so I want to be right there, close to the action. I want to be right there, available. I want to take it all in, and I want to try to enjoy it. It's a fantastic getaway. I'm just sad that it's all the way in September. I wish it was next weekend.
I know, but listen, it's happening. They're back on the road, and after last night, everybody was saying, man, I wish fans were back. I miss live fans and the live energy. Jesus Christ, man. I said this on Twitter last night. This may have been, and I don't attend a lot of wrestling shows because I'm the type of guy that watches all my sports at home, because I don't really feel like, I want to spend the money or I want to sit there. I'd rather watch the full thing on television. I miss the commentary and this and that, those little aspects. But the energy of the people there in Jacksonville in that venue made up for literally everything, man. We're going to talk about the energy. Say again?
I'm sorry. It came through. I've been to many events, where sometimes the production is not up to par, or it's just where they set the mics, or it's just, I don't know what else, like poor quality. But I've been to plenty of shows where the atmosphere in the arena just doesn't come through on camera. And that was not the case here, man. It was lit from bell to bell. Everything, all the energy that you were saying that you felt there, you could feel it all at home. I don't know if they turned up the mics or what, man, but it came through big time on TV.
All right, well, listen, you definitely felt it in the times that I texted you. I'm like, the energy here is crazy, and then you shot me a text back saying, yeah, I'm feeling the same thing, and then as soon as fucking Cody Rhodes came out with that match against Ogogo, which we will talk about, man, the energy in that fucking place died. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm over here, I can barely hear myself speak, and then Agogo's in the ring, and then goodbye. It's all over.
Yeah, I was legit surprised that Cody didn't come out to booze.
Yeah, he got a... Actually, I was in the bathroom when he was making his entrance. I heard people going crazy from walking back from the bathroom. So I'm like, I thought to myself, wow, people still love Cody the way that they used to love Cody.
Yeah, we'll see about that the next time they put him in front of a live crowd.
Well, hopefully he's there and it means something, unlike last night. Anyway, we're going to go over everything. We're going to go over everything, guys. We wanted to just get you all acclimated, get you in here, get Jesse to say a couple words before we get into it, because he's been away for a little bit. But listen, man, I thank everybody for coming out this past weekend. I had a great time meeting everybody, drinking with everybody at the meet and greet. You guys were awesome. Thanks for coming out. We're going to do it again in Chicago, so keep an eye and an ear out for that. Everybody that came up to me at the Fan Fest, everybody that came up to me inside the venue, I appreciate you all. But we got business to take care of, and we're going to break this show down the best that we can. I don't give a fuck who you watched last night, man. This is the place you need to be right here. The content creator in me was like, should I go live after the show is over? And then we go to the post-show scrum, and, I look at the iPhone, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. By the time we get home, it's going to be 2:30 back to the hotel room. Do I go live? And then, coincidentally, I believe I sat right in front of Izzy in the venue, and Izzy's dad, he was standing there in the scrum. And when I asked the questions that I asked to Tony and to Jungle Boy, he came up to me after the show. He's like, man, I didn't think it was you. Then I heard that New York fucking accent. And then he recognized who I was. I didn't know who he was, all these years. So the more I seen of him, the more I knew of who he was. But I didn't know he knew who I was. So he came up to me in Hoot Media and he's like, JD, I didn't even know you were here. I'm like, I wanted to tell him, bro, I sat in front of you inside the venue. What are you talking about? So he came up to me. That was a nice experience there. But
yeah, Izzy's dad is pretty. I mean, he's pretty recognizable because unless he drastically changes his look, I will point him out in a heartbeat because I remember him holding Izzy when Sasha took her sunglasses and just made her cry. That was the best moment in NXT history, man.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. But yeah, I mean everything in between, man. It was just awesome. But again, I thank everybody. It was such a great time, and I can't wait to do Chicago. But like I said, I don't give a shit who you were watching. This is where you need to be. And I was saying the content creator inside me is like, do I go live? He told me, Izzy's dad told me, the fuck you gonna go live on YouTube at 2:30 in the morning with all the gargoyles on? Who's gonna be watching at that hour? I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I got a Uber back with Hoot Media back to the hotel room, packed everything up. I decided, you know what? Let's ask Jesse if he wants to do the show. We're gonna get on a plane. We got up at 5 a.m. this morning to go get a plane back to New York to be here at 9 o'clock. I fell asleep. I legitimately woke up about a half an hour ago. So I am so sleep deprived. And then I got Raw, which is going to fucking kill me even more later tonight. So I figured, you know what? Let's do the show this afternoon. And that's why we're here right now. But guys, quickly, follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Do the same thing for Jesse. You see his ad on the screen right there for the little blue bird. Make sure you guys follow us on social media. I'll be live tweeting as usual during Monday Night Bore later on this evening. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys want to super chat, they are open. We will hang out at the end of the show. You guys can ask us anything you want. Ask me what happened with the scrum. Ask me this, ask me that. Ask Jesse what you want. We'll hang out later after the review is over. Go and check out all the other content that I uploaded last week. I was a busy man last week. Extras out the ass. The actual podcast went up as well. So go check all that stuff out. That is on the homepage right now. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home for t-shirts. So go get your t-shirts. Mouthmasker's still selling the masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS. And today's sponsor is Dr. Squatch. DrSquatch.com. You guys are going to use code SCRIPT at checkout for 20% off. In Jacksonville, I wish I had myself some Dr. Squatch. I unfortunately forgot my Squatch at home, so I was not Squatch in Jacksonville. So it is something that I think you guys need to go and get yourself if you're going to attend some of these shows, man. DrSquatch.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. Jesse, the pre-show last night started at 7:30. I love the look of the pre-show because of, like I said, the sun just setting. From where I was sitting, I thought AEW did a great job as far as presentation for Double or Nothing. I love the full capacity of Daly's place with the one ramp and the one tunnel. The commentary team had the little slot machines behind them. That was a nice little add-on there. But the pre-show saw Serena Deeb defend the NWA Women's Championship against Riho. And from what I saw there live, this was a hot match, number one. Number two, everybody was into Riho, and Serena Deeb was booed by the live crowd. So that was rather interesting to see. There was big boos for Serena Deeb.
Well, this is what it came off at home. They both got, just a decent amount of cheers when they came out. But the thing is, Deeb started working heel.
Yeah.
When she started working heel, then she was getting her boos, but she didn't get boos on her entrance, though.
Yeah. Well, actually, the one thing I did notice about Serena Deeb when she made her entrance was she stood at the entrance of the tunnel for about 10, 15 seconds and just took it all in because she just was blown away by just the size of the amount of people that were there. Yeah. It's great to be back. Everybody was wondering, and it was one of the many questions asked in the scrum, what was it like to feel, that energy from the live crowd like that again on pay-per-view? So I would imagine it felt unbelievable for her. But yes, you are correct. She did come out to a nice ovation, and then she did end up working heel against the babyface Riho. Serena Deeb, to me, I even looked over at Sean Ross Sapp after the match was over. I looked over at him. I enjoyed the match from where I was sitting. You said it was good, but it didn't flow as good as it should between these two women. I looked over at Sean after the match, and I said, man, oh man, Serena Deeb, I don't know if she honestly realizes it or cares or if people even know how good she is, but Jesus fucking Christ, this woman is criminally underrated. I even told you, even in the text that I sent you after the match was over, she is criminally underrated. If you were to create a perfect woman's pro wrestler, you know, you could mention your Sashas, you can mention your Baileys, your Tessas, your Charlottes, your Ios, your Oscars. Serena Deeb has to be in that conversation. She is such a great professional wrestler. You know, and I believe that the guys over at FTR, Dax and Cash, they said she's like almost a female Bret Hart if you really want to compare, you know, styles. She's AEW's women's division's Bret Hart.
She really is. She is that technically sound in the ring. And that's why I said what I said in the text. I mean, the match was very entertaining because the two of them told a fantastic story, the way they worked the body parts and everything else. It had its botches, it had its, you know, weird cringe transitional moments, but for what it was, I mean, I was interested, put it like this, I was interested in the match even though it had no backstory because they were pretty good at telling the story in the match itself.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's why I said the match was good and entertaining. It wasn't the best from a technical standpoint because of all of the miscues and botches, and I can easily chalk that up to a language barrier.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, the two of them actually worked really well. Imagine if they had like a nice feud with a nice story going in, they could tear the house down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm very hard on the Joshis and on you know, wrestlers like Riho. You know, she's very good at what she does. She was incredibly over. The crowd wanted nothing more for her than to win this championship. I don't know if that was the right decision or not. I think Deeb is just kind of hitting her stride and still, you know, going upwards with that NWA Women's Championship. But you're right. They did tell a good story. Deeb worked over the knee for most of the match. And then Riho obviously coming from behind, doing that babyface thing that she does so well. But after Riho started coming back, Riho was stopped again by Deeb. Deeb went for an octopus. Then she went for a jumping guillotine. Riho turned the guillotine into a Northern Light suplex with a bridge, which looked fucking great. She draped Deeb over the ropes and went for a diving foot stomp on the apron, but Deeb moved out of the way and hit a dragon screw over the ropes again, working on that knee and telling that story that you just mentioned before. So they get back in the ring. Deeb is transitioning into a neck breaker. She hits a twisting neck breaker. They scrambled back and forth. Deeb eventually hitting a double leg dragon screw and then a stack power bomb for two. I thought the stack power bomb was going to be it, but you know, the near falls were plenty in this match. Riho fought out of the Deeb tox is what she calls it. Hit a rising knee and a dragon suplex. She followed it up with a diving foot stomp to Deeb's back. Deeb rolled through the Meteora, locked in a single leg crab. Riho made it to the ropes. She tried to fight off more attack by Deeb, but Deeb hit another dragon screw, so she continuously worked over that knee. Riho fought out of the Deeb tox again, locked on a Japanese clutch for a very close near fall. Deeb smashed Riho's leg repeatedly into the canvas and then applied the Serenity Lock, and Riho eventually tapped out, and Deeb retains that NWA Women's Championship. I will say this, Jesse. This may be a little controversial, I would say, not to take away from the Doctor's moment. This was a better wrestled match than what Britt and Shida did later on in the night. But I will say that I would like to see more of this if, like you said, they could come up with a story for these two women and really get the hook from the fans on that aspect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if we're just gonna talk about wrestling matches, I think this was a better wrestling match. Yeah. And somehow, I mean, I guess this is why it's better. There's no way this should have happened, but they told a better story in their match than the number one contender and the champion did in theirs.
Yeah.
You know, they had all of the story going in, but you know, it's just like I said, you know, to you later. I mean, it's that Shida Britt Baker match was pretty much just, I mean, how is Britt gonna win? I mean, let's just get to the ending that we want to see. Put the title on and then let's go. I mean, again, like I said, they could have just said, "Hey, you know what? We're short on time. We're gonna have Riho come out here and give Britt Baker the title." A few people would complain, but I'm telling you, they wouldn't have complained for much longer. I mean, it's just like, this is what we wanted. We just wanted to see her get her moment, and it was just Riho's job. It was just Shida's job to bring Baker to a good match, for her coronation and everything else, and she did. I just don't see the chemistry there with Shida and Britt Baker, man.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't know if it's the chemistry. I don't know if it was nerves. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about it. I got a lot to say on how the match was booked. But going back to Deeb, when I looked over at Sean and I asked him, how criminally underrated she is, and he shot me a comment. He's like, and I don't think people realize that the woman almost spent 6 or 7 years not wrestling, and look at how fucking good she is. Look at what role she played in WWE with CM Punk. She didn't really do much of anything. She almost derailed her career just to play a role in a non-wrestling role on WWE TV, and then they brought her back, and WWE didn't even give her a fucking contract.
Yeah. I mean, she can tell she's put in her time. Yeah. She's taking her lumps in the industry, man, and she's getting the shine that she deserves. I didn't see her at all losing this match. I don't know. I'm not sure how this NWA title women's situation works, but I can't see her losing that title to just a straight up AEW talent, especially one that's, got to travel here and there and then got the language barrier. I didn't see Riho winning this match at all.
Well, who do you see derailing Serena Deeb? Do you think they go back to Thunder? I was thinking about this last night. Do you think they go back to Thunder Rosa, give Thunder Rosa the shot, have Rosa beat Deeb, and then they do Rosa and Britt Baker title for title? Do they do something like that?
I figured it would be another NWA women's wrestler. I can't see them putting it on an AEW, talent and then moving that talent over to, is NWA even putting on shows yet?
I believe they are. And Tony Khan did mention last night that Britt Baker said she loves the fact that NWA is working with AEW. She loves the fact that title is represented here because it means more opportunities for more women. And that's exactly what she said. But I don't
know, man. It just
I don't even know who's on that roster. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it is. I don't want to say overshadowing because it's not overshadowing Britt Baker's title at all. But it would put more shine on Britt Baker's title if the NWA women's title didn't exist on AEW television.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying Camille. I've heard the name. I'm not familiar with how she goes in the ring. So if you guys are saying she's ready, there's no reason for me not to believe you. You guys know better than I do. We don't watch NWA.
Yeah, if they have a contender, awesome. And if they want to highlight the NWA title on AEW television, okay.
Yeah.
But bring in a competitor from NWA.
Yeah.
Because I'm not convinced that an AEW talent's gonna win and then go travel to NWA to go defend it. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny situation, but regardless of that, we could fantasy book all we want. Deeb beats Riho, very good match. I definitely want to see more of Deeb. She's somebody that I saw early on, and I didn't really think much of. I'm like, this is not a big signing for anybody, but the more I watch her, the more I am just incredibly impressed about what she does in that ring, and she's awesome. So she gets the victory over Riho on the pre-show. Then we start the actual show, and I was contemplating what match they were going to open up with. I said maybe they start hot with the tag team title match, Bucks, Moxley, Kingston. Maybe they start big with Sting. But then we got Hangman Page and Brian Cage to open the show, and after thinking about it, I'm glad that they went with this. It's the prototypical, just perfect opening match to get people really to that point where they whet their appetite. And man, oh man, Adam Page, we all wondered, you and I, Jesse, both wondered, is he going to be as hot as he was before the pandemic? When Adam Page came out last night to open Double or Nothing, the place erupted. It was legitimately one of the top 3 pops of the entire night, and it was a night of huge pops. Adam Page and his babyface ascent will continue. And man, right now, if you're just gauging off of what you heard last night, when we are ready to start booking him versus Omega for the World Championship, it is going to be in good health. I don't think anything has drifted away because of the pandemic. Adam Page is exactly right where he needs to be after all this time, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
It is. I knew he was over, but my God, man, yeah, he lit up the Daily Center, man, and that came through loud and clear. I remember I was starting to walk out of the room to go grab something to drink, and I heard that pop, and I stopped and came back. Man, this guy, he was over, but he was over when live crowds were here, but he was starting to fade. He had no direction and everything else, and to be honest, he still has basically no direction where he stands right now. But this is the moment. These are the times when you get to find out where the crowd stands and how they feel about the rest of the talent. And they can spend this whole pay-per-view doing just that. They can spend it in just seeing who the crowd wants to see. I mean, what did we find out? We know that the people want Hangman, they want Britt Baker, they want Jungle Boy. We know that without a shadow of a doubt, you know. And so it was so good to have that reaction back, man. I loved it.
Yeah, do you think with the reaction that he got last night, what do you think Tony Khan's reaction is to where he is creatively right now? Do you see them using this unbelievable babyface reaction and still pairing him with the Dark Order to maybe get them a little bit further along? Or do you think after that type of reaction last night that it's going to send off a signal in Tony's head, maybe we need to move him on from the Dark Order and just have him go on his own now, you know, instead of mulling around with the Dark Order and not doing anything? He's better off on his own now with that reaction.
Well, you can go a couple of different ways with this one, man. You can look at that and say, okay, we had plans for Hangman in a singles run a little bit down the road, but clearly let's move that up. Or they could go, well, look how over Hangman is. Why separate him from Dark Order? Use him to bring the Dark Order back up to where they were before and elevate that entire group. I mean, because look at Dark Order was also over when they came out.
Yeah.
So, you could go either way. You could really go either way. If you break him away from them, I mean, that does kind of leave them down to the wayside. If you push them all up, then they all benefit from not only his rub but their own rub as well.
Yeah, I hear you, but the way I would do it is after last night. And the reason I ask you is because I wanted to get your opinion on it, because these are the things I was thinking about when I was there. I think after the reaction last night, I think you go back to just doing Adam Page, the beer drinking, fucking cowboy shit, beat the fuck out of you, you know, Hangman Page, and just move on from this Dark Order stuff. I think the Dark Order more now is a comedy act than anything. I'm not feeling them at all anymore.
Yeah, they've definitely fallen off. That's the feel of it from the booking, but again, from the reactions last night, I mean, it just seems like they're just a few creative decisions away from being right back up there. It's not like it's a hard sell for the crowd. You wouldn't be shoving them down the throat. People want to cheer them. But geez, man, you got to give us a reason to.
Yeah, and I will mention the Dark Order a little bit later in the Casino Battle Royale. When number 10, Preston Vance, came out, he got a big reaction from the crowd. So there are people in the Dark Order that are over. Evil Uno even got a big reaction when he came out.
Uno, we all know John Silver is over. I mean, God forbid they let -1 come out there, man. It'll break the internet.
Yeah.
You know, they should have. I mean, but look, the kid probably has school or something. I don't know, but I mean, geez, it's not like they're toxic. It's just like you have to book them.
Yeah.
They can't just be over and then you forget about them and they stay over. They fell to the wayside. They've done nothing meaningful. They've done nothing of importance except hang around and do entertaining skits on BTE, and that's not gonna get them over all the way. They gotta push them again. So, Hangman being over as he is, they could easily keep him there, and everybody would change their tune about the Dark Order. But as it stands now, yeah, of course you want to see Hangman separate and move on because he's way higher than them right now.
Yeah. But as far as this match goes, these two guys beat the living shit out of each other. This is exactly the type of match you want between these two guys. I love the way Cage came out. He came out with his Terminator garb. He got the mask with the red laser eyeball. It was awesome watching that live. We were sitting pretty decently to the ring, and I seen the laser on his eye from where I was sitting. So I'm like, that's awesome. That's similar to what he used to come out when he was being pushed in Lucha Underground. So I was very familiar with that wrestling attire he came out with. He came out alone, Jesse. Cage came out alone. Taz was on commentary, but no Hook, no Hobbs, no Starks. He came out alone. And then obviously, as we've seen towards the end of this thing, there are now seeds planted developments for Brian Cage to be, I would say, on the outs with Team Taz. We'll get to that, but these guys beat the shit out of each other. There was a spot.
First off, before I go any further, I thought this outfit looked fucking ridiculous. I thought he looked like the fucking Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, man.
From where I was sitting, man, it looked all right. So I didn't even bother to ask you how it looked on television. You could see it was not like legit, like armor that he was wearing. It almost looked like it was like plastic or cardboard. But
it looked like he fell into a fucking tub of aluminum foil, man. It was just so bad.
What do you want him to do, man? You want Tony to pay for legit fucking... Let's go into Charlotte Flair's closet and get something out of her fucking closet and put it on him.
Yeah, I did, man.
Anyway, there was a spot earlier in the match, very early on. Cage, he caught Paige. Hopefully I don't mix up my words here. Paige went for a suicida, and Cage caught him, put him into a powerbomb position, threw him right into the steel post. The guy next to me was like, Jesus Christ, cringing. I'm like, yeah, that looked pretty fucking bad going into the steel post. It looked like he went right into it hard way. So then they go back in the ring. Cage is beating Paige with some vicious strikes, some elbows. He picked Paige up, curled him, just throwing him around just very, very easily, because that's what Brian Cage does. Paige... He eventually gets a crucifix bomb on Brian Cage. So they exchange clotheslines, and then they both clothesline themselves over the top rope. Page seen an opening. He goes up top. He hits his signature moonsault off the top rope to the floor. So then they go back up top, and Page is going for a Frankensteiner. So Cage caught it. He went for a powerbomb. Page adjusted, hit the Frankensteiner in the ring anyway, went for a near fall. That got a big pop live there inside Daly's place. Cage landed a side kick or a super kick, and that brought Page into the ring. Page escaped to the discus forearm. Speeding up to the end of this thing, it was a situation where Cage was about to steal Adam Page's finishing move. He was about to go for the buckshot lariat. Page had it scouted. He hit an F5 for it too. Cage avoided the buckshot, turned it into a German, then a power bomb, then a buckle bomb. Page jackknifed Cage for a great near fall. Awesome sequence. Crowd really popped for those near falls. Cage came back with a discus lariat and a spinning Liger bomb for a very close near fall. Ricky Starks and Taz's son Hook came out, distracted the referee. So Hook has the referee. Starks goes over to the Justin Roberts table there. He grabs the FTW championship, hands it to Cage. Cage looks at it, tosses it right back to Ricky Starks. He didn't want to cheat. So this got a big pop from the crowd because Brian Cage was doing the right thing. He argued with Hook, and Page took advantage with the buckshot lariat because Cage was busy with Hook. Get the fuck out of here. And that was it. Buckshot lariat pins Brian Cage. 1, 2, 3. Adam Page wins the match. After the match, Cage and Starks got in each other's face. Cage shoved Starks. He was pointing at his neck. Don't touch me. I got a bad neck. He walks away. Brian Cage walks away from Team Taz, and that was pretty much it. What do you think of this development, Jesse? Is it better off for Brian Cage to be on his own? Looks like he may end up being a decent babyface on AEW's roster.
Look, man, I'm already being called heel Jesse again. But
why? What did you say?
Well, all I said was I didn't like the fucking tinfoil outfit.
Oh, give me a break. Come on. That's probably one of the only fucking negatives that'll be said on this show today.
Well, hold on for another one. I mean, I don't think Hobbs is gonna make it on his own. I think he needs a mouthpiece. I could see why they wanted to break him away from Team Taz, because to be honest, once you get him and then you get Cage and everything else, and then you get Taz, you get Taz trying to run too many in that group. Yeah. All right, he's trying to talk for too many of them. None of them are standing out as individuals right now. The only one that stands out right now is Hobbs, because they just broke him away.
Yeah.
They're going to feud him with Team Taz, obviously, and then they're going to jump him, almost every other night, obviously. And the thing is, Hobbs is not very good on the microphone to sell himself. I see him crashing kind of like Scorpio Sky. He can't. I don't know if he can or he can't, but it doesn't feel like he has the ability to make us care about him in this character.
Now, you mean, are you legitimately mentioning Powerhouse Will Hobbs? You think Hobbs can't make it on his own? I'm talking about Brian Cage.
Cage as well. Yeah.
So you think Brian Cage is like Will Hobbs, and he needs a mouthpiece.
He needs a mouth. They both need a mouthpiece. And he comes out, he says, "Who better?"
Who better?
It does. Who better? He needs a mouthpiece. It's not, but I get it, because it's not like him and Taz were tearing a joint down. They weren't really doing anything as far as the two of them collective. Maybe him and Taz, just the two of them. Well, maybe they should just focus on one at a time, because it just seems like, are they a tag team? Are they a group? Are they a faction? What are they doing here? What title are they going for? What is Team Taz trying to do? They're trying to get Jade Cargill. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Nobody is getting over in that group right now. Name one talent in Team Taz that's getting over, or as a tag team, or anything else. Even Ricky Starks has all the talent in the world. He's not going anywhere.
Listen, man, I think Taz is an incredible mouthpiece. When he first got introduced to AEW, the promos that he cut were fantastic. But I agree with you. Everybody in this group, there's no interest around them. I don't even feel like they belong on TV. I think Ricky Starks is fantastic,
Yep.
but he's hurt. So clearly they're going to focus on him and put him on television until he's healed up and ready to go. But I don't even think he belongs in that group. His whole demeanor and mentality and his aura doesn't even fit Team Taz. He's not an assassin. He's fucking cocky. He's a pretty boy. He's a prick. I want to see him go on his own. He could do everything on his own. He don't need any help.
Yes, he is the only one with the best shot of going solo and succeeding.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what would be best. But the problem is he's a heel in that group. You can't separate him from that group without turning him babyface. And you do not want a babyface Ricky Starks.
No.
By no means.
If you were at the Fan Fest on Saturday afternoon and you seen Ricky Starks' line, you would think he's a babyface. People love him, man. His line was fucking crazy.
He's so good. I can see him following the AEW trails of MJF. He's just that independent on the mic, and he can get it done in the ring.
Yeah.
It's just, he's not going anywhere right now because he's injured. Fine, no big deal. But if he's injured, then why is he on TV every week and not being used, and his promo ability not being used to his best potential?
No idea.
As a matter of fact, I could see Ricky Starks and Brian Cage leaving and let Hobbs and Taz stay together. Ricky Starks could be the mouthpiece for Cage, and Taz can just focus on Hobbs.
Bro, Ricky Starks looks like he should be in the Pinnacle. Never mind fucking Team Taz. That's the type of mentality he has. That type of group.
Is that good? He would butt heads character wise with MJF, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see him leading the Pinnacle. They wouldn't be as high as they are in the card, but I could see him being groomed to eventually lead the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
But it's just where he is now, what they're doing with him and what they're trying to do with Team Taz, none of it's working for me. Cage, I cannot see him working out as a babyface because he needs someone to get him over on that micro. He can't get us interested in any of his feuds.
I don't know.
What's he going to do?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm trying to remember back what he did in Lucha Underground. He wasn't bad there. I don't know if he was, if I vaguely remember, he feuded with Mil Muertes, I think. I'm not sure. But he was over in Lucha Underground. He did everything on his own in Lucha Underground. So, we'll see.
It was less talking and more just ass kicking from him.
Yeah.
Lucha Underground. And if he's going to try to go solo here, it's a tough sell. It's a hard sell to get someone over as a babyface who doesn't really talk well on the mic. You're in everything about your gimmick has to carry everything about you in the ring.
Yeah.
Darby Allin, for instance. That guy is fucking terrible on the mic. But they got smart and started using his promos to the best of his ability. No live promos, pre-recorded in his own element, him filming it himself. That is a bond. That is something we can get attached to Darby Allin. what is Cage gonna do to get us interested in Brian Cage other than be strong and beat up dudes?
Listen, Tony's got a good mind. So we'll see what happens. I think Brian Cage is money. You gotta formulate well with him. I do agree with you for now. I don't see where he could go and be successful right immediately leaving Team Taz, but it's going to be a work for sure. It's going to be a work in progress. Will Hobbs and the rest of them, I don't really care about them because there's no reason to. So
and another good point. I know we're trying to move on to the next issue, but another good point though is Brian Cage is fucking huge.
Yeah,
massive, fucking built. He looks like he can just squash anybody on the roster. So how do you make me feel sympathetic to him? As far as being a baby face and like, oh, can he overcome these? He is the odds. What do you mean overcome what odds? They have to pretty much gangbang him and jump him every week. Otherwise, if you're losing, why are you losing? You're a fucking monster. And if you're winning, it's like, okay, now you're bullying this guy. It's a weird dynamic to be that muscle bound and still be a baby face without having charisma. Now, when you have the charisma to do it, it's a lot more entertaining. So I don't know how they do it, but they got to figure out a way to do it. If they just turn him babyface and send him out there, he's going to fall flat, just like Scorpio Sky did.
Well, speaking of charisma, I think the next match had plenty of it, plus some left over where we could give it to some of the people in the community that really don't have any. Bucks, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, they came out with Brandon Cutler. They went up against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston for the AEW Tag Team Championships. This match was the second match on the show. I sat and I watched this match thoroughly. It didn't even get started immediately. The bell rang about maybe 6 or 7 minutes in because they were beating the shit out of each other on the outside. But one of the things I noticed, Jesse, right at the start of this match, this was the one match I was looking forward to most. This is the one match that I think on the entire card, the one match I could have easily said, you know what? I think we see a title change here. I think we see a title change here, and I would not be upset if we did. And in some cases, it might have been warranted. And then Jon Moxley comes out with Eddie Kingston to his Wild Thing theme music. You and I both hated that shit. Now, I don't know how it came off on TV, but being there live, man, I hated that song, and I just thought the same way you did. Like, Moxley's theme music is so fucking great in AEW. Like, why would you take that and make this new one his theme song? But listening to that in the live crowd, I'm like, you know what? This shit is going to fucking work. People went ballistic when he came out singing this shit. Tony Khan knows what the fuck he's doing, man. Buying these songs, he's buying the right songs and buying the rights to these songs for the people on his roster. He's doing a fantastic job just based on that. People were going batshit crazy for this thing.
Yeah, I can definitely see it being like a party song, and it came off well on TV. And just like any other theme song with pretty much any other wrestler, you let it go on long enough, people will get used to it and they'll like it, but after the first week, everybody was pissed off that he didn't have his original music. Yeah. Then they changed it to the Cleveland Indians version of it from, what's the name?
Major League, yeah.
Yeah, Major League, and they get better. It did flow better. It did get better. And now if they keep coming out to it, I mean, it's a crowd pleaser. It gets hype and everything else. But, for me, I'm like you. I just like the original too much. I mean, I can see the energy it brought to the show. I can see it. I mean, I'm not an idiot, but I mean, just like I said, Moxley get Mitch the Plant over.
Yeah.
He'll get Ring Around the Rosie over for his theme song. It doesn't matter. So in that regard, it doesn't really matter. But it just made him feel more original and badass. This makes him feel a little bit more commercial and mainstream, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
But it's Moxley. And the things. Who at the end of the day, who really gives a shit as long as he's booked and portrayed well. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, he's still a number one guy in all of AEW. Even though he took a pin, I can see him, because as Renee, it's got to be due any minute. So I can see him taking some time off right about now. And he'll come back stronger than ever, man.
Which may be the reason why him and Kingston lost this match. It might not be the reason. It might be a determining factor for sure. But the crowd inside Daly's place was hanging on every moment in this match. This was great. I think this may go down as one of the better tag teams or the better tag team matches in all of 2021. It may end up on some people's list for best match of the year. I thought it was just the way these two teams worked together was really, really great. Everybody was happy for Eddie Kingston to be in this environment and get that type of reaction. He's over as fuck as well. You know, Moxley, there's really no denying how over he is. The Bucks, you know, I wasn't big on their heel turn, the way that they came off and how they were acting, but man, they're owning it. And it's tough to really sit there and think that they're heel because people still love them. They still sing the theme music. They still do the Being the Elite, you know, in the theme song. Yeah. They're never going to be fully heel. But man, they are trying their best for people to just fucking hate them legitimately. You got to give them credit for trying. I think it's great. I love the Bucks coming out wearing the piercings and the fucking just over the top flamboyant outfits. That shit's great.
Yeah, I like how they you know what they do? They're like they've become like heels for the marks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and there's just no gray area about it for them. Like they'll come out and they'll say, yeah, well, you know, we would sign this autograph, but we're a fucking heel now, so fuck you. I mean, and that's what the smart fans would find entertaining. You know, the ball breaking, just look, we're heels now, so duh, we're not gonna do this shit for you. You know, and it must be easier for them to be heel when you're catering to marks, because we know you love your fans. We know you love everything you do. So when you just come out and say, screw you guys, I'm heel, I'm not doing it. Ha ha ha. It's funny. You know, they become cool heels. You know, they're never gonna be full blown assholes. They're just always gonna be cool heels, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you nail it, it's fine.
Yeah, there's no way. Especially there was one spot in this match, which I'll get to in a second, that they did. And there's no way. I laughed out loud in my seat. There's no way I'm gonna watch this one particular spot and try and boo them, and nobody should. Which, like I said, I'll get to it. I don't want to jump ahead, but the match opened up. It took roughly about 6 minutes before the bell rang because both teams were just fighting on the outside. So then they start going back and forth. They start working on Kingston, and Moxley gets a tag back and forth. So Moxley tripped up Matt and clotheslined him to the floor. So Nick tagged in. Kingston caught him, hit an exploder, allowing him to tag in Moxley. Moxley just fucking exploded out of the corner with a shotgun dropkick. He took both Bucks out with release suplexes, a sit-out pile driver. Matt kicked out. Moxley locked on a bulldog choke. Nick broke it up. Moxley then hit a double DDT on both Matt and Nick Jackson. All of a sudden, Carl Anderson walks out. He starts coming out down the ramp, pointing his finger, yelling at Moxley, yelling at Kingston. Doc Gallows tried to surprise Kingston, but Kingston took him out with a running splash. Frankie Kazarian comes out. I had to text you about who the fuck that was on in the match because it happened so quick. Like, if I had my head down and he had a hoodie on, so I couldn't see what happened, he came running out from behind the commentary booth. He ran over to Carl Anderson, took him out. They were scrambling up the stage through the tunnel. I texted you, who the hell was it? I couldn't see. He had a hoodie on. You told me it was Frankie Kazarian. The guy next to me was like, oh, it was Frankie Kazarian, because I guess he got it online. He didn't know who the fuck it was either. So Kazarian ran out, took out Anderson. The referee, just like every other AEW referee, distracted. Matt sprayed cold spray in Moxley's eyes. Moxley kicked out. Moxley was then busted open on his forehead because I guess after the cold spray in the eyes, I don't know if it was Matt and Nick, I believe it was Matt, took the bottle of cold spray and nailed Moxley in the head with it. I think that's what busted him open. I thought it was either that or the next spot. They went for an indie taker. They killed Moxley on the ramp with an indie taker. That was the spot I thought that they actually busted him open with, but it must have been the can. They decided to wait in the ring and wait for the referee to count them out. Obviously, the baby faces get back in the ring at a 9. Matt worked over Moxley's cut on his forehead. He tagged in Nick, hit a draping senton, which I always love to see, off the top rope. Bucks beat down Moxley, kicks and maintaining him in their portion of the ring. Quick tags, isolating him in the corner. Then all of a sudden, the Young Bucks, they go for the Shield powerbomb spot. We get, I believe it was Matt. He does the Roman Reigns ooh-ah fucking spot from the Shield. I start laughing my ass off. in my seat. Nobody knows why I'm laughing. I'm like, the fuck? He's doing Roman Reigns. Look, he's doing Roman Reigns. So he does the Roman Reigns spot. So Moxley fought out. Obviously, he was pissed off at this. He crushed Nick with a suplex. He tagged in Kingston after this was all over. Kingston dropped both guys, going back and forth, belly to belly on Nick, DDT on Matt. He locked in a stretch muffler, I believe, on Nick. Machine Gun comes back out, chops. And actually, not Machine Gun Carlin. I'm sorry, it was chops. But Nick landed a thrust kick on Kingston's knee. So then the Bucks all of a sudden get control back. They hit a sliced bread. Nick went for a senton. Kingston got to his knees and tagged in Moxley, who immediately ran into super kicks. They went for more bang for your buck, but Moxley fought out, locked on a rear naked choke. Nick rolled out of the choke, and Matt landed a 450 splash for 2. All of a sudden, Kingston pulls Nick off the apron. They were going for a Meltzer driver. Nick tripped up Moxley on their finish attempt. Moxley intercepted the Meltzer driver again and used one of the Bucks' Dior Jordans, one of their sneakers, for a distraction, because if you guys remember, they stole the Bucks sneakers, allowing him and Kingston to hit a shoe-assisted doomsday device on the Young Bucks. That got a great near fall. That made Daly's place go crazy. Moxley caught a super kick, and Nick flipped out of a paradigm shift and locked in the sharpshooter. So towards the end of this thing, Moxley fired up. He had blood on his face. He was going crazy. He was met with double super kicks. Kingston tried to get involved here. Bucks kicked out his leg and then super kicked him. They hit the BTE trigger. Moxley shrugged it off. And then they hit more BTE triggers successfully. And that was it for Moxley. And they pinned Jon Moxley clean 1, 2, 3. And they retained the AEW Tag Team Championships. There was a lot to uncover here. It was a great story. Very entertaining tag team match. All 4 of these guys work great together. I was hoping for a title change. Daly's Place was hoping for a title change. It did not happen. I would have not been upset if it did happen. But it looks like, Jesse, we are continuing with the Bucks. I don't know if there's going to be any team really in the distant future that's going to take them down. They're just too good right now, and they're hitting their stride. They really are as heels.
They are. I don't know where Moxley got color from, man. I think I looked away for a half second. They did a pretty good job at shooting it, because I couldn't tell if it was hard way or if he actually bladed. I even texted you, like, I have no idea where he did that. No clue. So it just popped right up.
Yeah.
And another thing too, when they showed the replay to Jericho's fall from the cage, every angle they ended up showing was a better angle than what aired on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looked like if it would have flowed that way on TV, it wouldn't have been as, you know, as a botchy of a spot. So like they did a pretty good job at cleaning that up. And also, you see how Rick Knox just kind of all over the place in this match, like missing this and botching that and everything else.
Man, I made a mention to this to somebody while I was sitting there. My exact words, I'm like, why is Rick Knox always the one guy that ends up looking like a fucking geek? Every match he referees, He looks like a fucking moron.
Yeah. Well, this today's BTE, they kind of put that in the storyline where they paid off Rick Knox a big wad of cash.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
To be fair, Hoop Media mentioned that and called that out last night.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I had no
I don't
idea
know if they're going to go full Nick Patrick on this one or what, but yeah, apparently Rick Knox is in the pocket of the Bucks right now.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay. There you go. I guess I got to apologize to Rick Knox. He isn't a fucking geek. He's just a smart guy who took a lot of money from the Bucks.
Don't get me wrong. No, they did that bit because he did such a shitty job in that match.
Okay.
But they made a good story out of it. So let's see if that comes to TV or not. Because they paid Rick Knox a nice wad of cash.
It should come to TV. That's to me, that's a big storyline development there. It happens every fucking week. Tell me.
Yep. It's interesting. I'm sorry I spoiled it for somebody. Hey man, it's my job to watch BTE for you guys, man. Sorry about that.
Listen, bro, go watch BT. What the fuck? What do you get mad at us for? You don't want all the research done? Come on, man.
Yeah. Important one. I hope they go with it. I hope they don't go full Nick Patrick on it to the point where he's just a in-ring talent. But I like the shady referee deal.
Yeah,
you know.
I always like that storyline myself.
I want to see Aubrey get pissed about it too, and get involved in it.
I always like that storyline myself. The shady referee, the referee that was bought off. It's just a simple, effective storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was simple and effective was the Battle Royal. I enjoyed this Battle Royal for what it was. It wasn't anything all too great, but I was entertained. And we got a Battle Royal with 21 individuals and a Battle Royal that I thought was very, very predictable, as did Jesse. And with Christian Cage being announced for this Battle Royal and his catchphrase being outwork everyone, everybody kind of assumed that he was going to win this Battle Royal. There was also a tease early on in his introductory phase to AEW that he was targeting Kenny Omega in the AEW Championship. So, you know, it was not ridiculous to think that maybe he wins the Battle Royal and maybe he's in the main event at All Out against Kenny Omega for the AEW title. And they just build up a overcoming 7 years of retirement, Christian Cage, to chase that one final dream of his, to win a world championship again. But at the end of this thing, it was not any of that. And Tony Khan, I think, is smart enough to realize, I think everybody here in this venue and all our fans are not dumb idiots like WWE fans. I think they kind of know that Christian Cage being in this thing and him being, you know, outwork everyone, it would be too easy for him to win the match. So I'm going to pull the rug out from everybody and I'm going to go with somebody else. And that's exactly what they did in this Battle Royal. Now, we got the first suit. You got the clubs who come out. Christian Cage, Matt Sydal came out. Will Hobbs, Dustin Rhodes, and Max Caster, who got a beautiful reaction from the live crowd. He mentioned something about Christian Cage coming out of retirement and him not feeling the same because he doesn't have an edge. I popped big for that, as did everybody else. And then he was kind of lingering and stalling when he wanted to come up for Dustin, but I don't know if he lost his train of thought or if he just genuinely didn't have anything to shit on Dustin for. So he's like, you're so ugly. Why don't you paint your own face?
No, I genuinely appreciate that because that means that his freestyles are just that. Fucking freestyles off the top of the fucking dome. Yes. He didn't sit in the back and write everything down. He came out there with, let me see what I got. And a great freestyler will sometimes be sitting there trying to buy time to come up with his next couple of bars. And and I got more respect from him in that regard. He legitimately just off the top of the head on that one. Loved it.
Now, when you watch this match and you've seen these first five guys in the ring, someone was in my area saying that Max Caster got eliminated and it looked like he was not supposed to be eliminated. How did it come off on TV? Did it look like a botch? Because this is what I was being told in the arena, but he was eliminated pretty quickly, and the fans were not happy about it.
Yeah, not at all. It didn't come off as a botch. It just, you got eliminated, and then I heard the boos. I mean, but that's what happens when you get, you know, an over baby face or a cool heel, somebody that they want to win. You don't cheer, you boo, and it's not like a boo like, oh, this is shitty booking, we're pissed. Those are the boos you would have got if Christian Cage would have won that match.
Yeah.
But this match was like, oh no, not that guy. Boo. Okay. On with the match. You know, I mean, we know everybody can't win. I mean, Jungle Boy won. Everybody was happy. Nobody booed because Castro didn't win.
Yeah.
You know, but let me tell you something. I text you just right before it happened. And if Christian Cage beats Jungle Boy, his run as a babyface in this company is over. Done.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But don't think that far ahead. Don't think that far ahead. But Max Caster, man, like you texted me, money. He's more than money. Tony Khan's sitting on a gold mine with him. You know, again, I don't. They are too young. I want to see the Acclaim do their thing tag team wise. I want to see some gold around their waist. I want to see them light up the tag team world. Add to their legacy. Add to their career. But we all know when Max Caster is ready to break out, Tony Khan's sitting on a gem. And I think at this early age, I don't know how old Max Caster is, but I think Tony Khan and Caster kind of know it. He has it, man. Between guys like him, Jungle Boy, MJF, I mean, geez, man, his main event picture is already set for 10 years from now. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's a beautiful thing to see. After that, Seidel got eliminated, so he looked to redeem himself after that miserable botch on his debut night in AEW last year. He got eliminated pretty quickly by Christian Cage. Next was the Diamonds, Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy, Preston Vance, number 10 of the Dark Order, who got a big pop, Nick Comoroto, and Serpentico. So they were out there. Then we got the Hearts. Varsity Blondes came out. Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison got a very nice reaction. I think that Dark Side of the Ring documentary is really warming the hearts of everybody to Brian Pillman Jr., and rightfully so. I thought that was a great documentary, and I like them more now. Yeah, I liked them before, and everybody that listens to Jesse and I on Wednesday nights, we've been praising them pretty heavily. But I think after that documentary, I'm even more of a fan of Brian Pillman Jr. And just like the Acclaim, I want to see them win tag team gold when they are matured and ready, for sure.
Yeah, that's why when they faced the Bucks, the other week, I was saying this: if there was ever a time for a hot shot title change, right here.
Yeah.
Varsity Blondes can be that team. I mean, right now, are they ready to run as tag team champions? No, not right now. But they are so over and so promising and so good right now. I would not have a problem with them getting a lucky win and then the Bucks just smashing them 2 weeks later or something like that. That'd be a fantastic story.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know if Tony Khan's willing to pull the trigger on that. He seems more of the type of guy that doesn't like to do that. I don't know really when a moment like that could be called upon. But for a team like those guys, I absolutely agree. I think that would make them so great, in everybody's eyes.
It would, and if nothing else, people don't get something that small. I mean, people would, the people who don't like it will get mad about it here and there, but the titles will go back to the Bucks. Yeah. They'll go on to continue their reign. And the thing is, you can never take that from Varsity Blondes. They will always be former tag team champions. And that's already something to hold your head on and say, hey, this tag team is legit. They are former tag team champions. Say what you want. They got lucky. They got this. But they beat the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So making them a force down the road when whoever they face. Like, oh, it's just the Varsity Blondes. No, it's just the former tag team champions, man. Don't fucking sleep on these guys. You see what happened to the Young Bucks when they did.
Next, we got Colt Cabana, Anthony Bowens, Penta. He got a big reaction. Everybody missed him. I mean, he's just so charismatic that everybody was playing along with what he usually does and his antics. He came out looking like the Joker, which looked great. They went to the Spades last. Jungle Boy Mark Quinn, Aaron Solo, Evil Uno, and Lee Johnson. My boy Lee Johnson, man. I didn't get to see Lee Johnson walking around. I wanted to go up to him and tell him, listen, man, Jesse he's been shitting on you all these weeks, man. What do you got to say?
Man, dude.
Jungle Boy. Listen.
I still can't believe I fucking insulted his girlfriend. We didn't
see Lee Johnson, man. Maybe in Chicago. But Jungle Boy faced off with Penta, and he got taken down with a couple of sling blades, tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Private Party eliminated Pillman, and that was after a gin and juice. Johnson eliminated Solo. Hardy eliminated Johnson. Penta then eliminated Uno with a front face kick. Jungle Boy eliminated Penta, which surprised the shit out of me. Will Hobbs, he re-entered the action after, being on the outside. Some people rolled to the outside, which I'll make a mention of. Big spine buster on Cassidy, who let out his typical scream. He's been doing that since his House of Glory days. Christian is in the match. And this is where my problem resides with Christian Cage. He avoided a splash in the corner. He eliminated Hobbs. At this point, he just rolled back into the ring. I'm asking Hoop Media next to me. I'm asking everybody in my row, where the fuck's Christian Cage at? I don't see him in the ring. Guy wants to outwork everybody, Jesse, but a Battle Royal, typically, you're going to have somebody there in the end who's a veteran, rolls to the outside. He takes a sleep on the outside. Instead of outworking everyone, Christian on this night outslept everybody to get into the final two of this Casino Battle Royale. I don't think that necessarily does well for his quote-unquote gimmick here, outsleeping everybody.
No, I'm just really glad that they are backing down from this Christian Cage shit.
Yeah.
They're making him just like everyone else, which is what he needs to be right now. Look, I'm not saying he can never get to where they actually wanted him to be. I'm just saying the road they were looking like they were trying to take doing it was not a good choice.
No.
So, they had him lose this here, good, put a blemish on his record. A loss in a battle royal is not gonna, make him worthless. I mean, he can come back from this, but it needs to make him normal and let the fans get behind him and let the fans push him to the top. Otherwise, turn him heel and just do what you were doing, because this Roman Reigns babyface type push is not gonna work, man.
No. We'll talk about that in a second, because Christian, and it's gonna go in line with what you just said. Christian and Jungle Boy had a nice little moment in the end of this battle royal, but we'll get to that. Hobbs was eliminated by Christian. Hardy and both Private Party were left. Christian and Jungle Boy. These are the final 5. So then we get the Joker. The Joker comes out, the number 21 position in AEW's Casino Battle Royale. Out comes Lio Rush. And I'm a big Lio Rush guy. He came out, he got a great fucking reaction, and he looks great. He was so happy to be there. From where I was sitting, he was taking it all in. He looked thrilled to be there. He couldn't believe what he was hearing coming out through the tunnel. He comes out, and he entered with a crossbody on Cassidy, reverse hurricanrana on Quen. Rush hit his beautiful Spanish fly on Cassidy. He was cut off by Hardy. He was able to kind of hit a stunner on Hardy after rebounding off the ropes. I believe he used to do that in NXT, that bottom rope bounce-up stunner. I couldn't see from where I was sitting if that was the case or not, but I'm assuming it was. Rush was about to eliminate Private Party, but Hardy eliminated Lio Rush. He barely lasted 60 seconds in this thing, and the crowd was booing the shit out of Matt Hardy. Now, as far as Lio Rush goes, this was brought up in the post-show scrum with Tony Khan. Lio Rush was asked, or somebody asked about Lio Rush to Tony Khan. There is a handshake agreement with AEW and Lio Rush. Tony Khan said that Lio Rush was actually supposed to come in last year, but obviously that didn't happen because of the pandemic, and he was tied down with New Japan. He was working New Japan. He was doing some other things on the indies, so he couldn't balance everything and then work AEW at the same time. Then the pandemic hit. But Tony Khan said that this was a handshake agreement going back to last year. It is a handshake agreement now. They're welcoming Lio Rush to come on in and work whenever he wants, and it may lead to a full-time deal over time. But right now, it's just a handshake deal. And like I told you, Jesse, I think this is an incredible get. I think Lio Rush is mega talented and doesn't get the credit that he deserves for being how he is in the ring. Yeah, he was kind of given a bad name in WWE with all those bullshit stories and the Mark Henry thing that came out when he was there. He wasn't really used well with Bobby Lashley. They moved him down to NXT. He had that incredible feud with Angel Garza, Cruiserweight Championship. It almost seemed like Triple H hit the reset button on Lio Rush. And then goodbye. He was gone. And now he's back in AEW. This is an incredible get for them. I hope he stays. This
guy he's an in-ring worker. And this is the right brand for him. He belongs here. He belonged in NXT. He was not a talent for the main roster in WWE at all.
No.
I mean, there's no place for him. But this is somewhere where he can shine. I would like to say maybe he matured a little from where he was in WWE. But at the same time, by saying that, I don't want to come off like his concerns and issues on why he left were invalid. Because they were. I mean, it's one of those things where it's if you feel offended by it, say it, and it's easy for others to say, well, why are you getting offended by this? Everybody does it. Hey, I don't know. But if the guy's offended by it, he's offended by it. What can you do? You can't tell a man how to feel about something. So if he didn't feel like carrying people's bags and being made to feel like less of a talent, you can't blame him. It wasn't part of this contract when he signed it. But at the same time, if it's something that everyone else legitimately does, you don't have to do it. But if you get to the point where you've now matured and you don't feel as offended in doing it, or if it's something you no longer have to do in AEW, either way, I just hope he's gotten to the point where the backstage politics does not affect him being able to go out there and work.
Yeah. Either way, I'm not concerned about that. Like you said, if he had criticisms, leave it in the past. This is a new lease on life for him. He's way too talented. I think he's a great pro wrestler. I want to see him succeed on this type of stage. AEW is the perfect place for him. The matches that he could have with Scorpio Sky, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, there's no shortage of matches for him in AEW, so hopefully he sticks around for the long haul, but I'm happy to see him back. And as we get to the end of this thing after Lio Rush was eliminated, we got Christian and Jungle Boy being the final two because the Hardy family office were all eliminated. So there was a funny spot where Matt Hardy and Christian wanted to work together. Matt Hardy was trying to convince Christian to work together because of their old school ties. They were the innovators of the ladder match, and, you know, Matt Hardy gave him a double fist pump. Christian throws Matt Hardy out after Hardy just briefly turned his back, and Christian gave one of these shrugs like, I don't give a fuck what happened. I'm winning this Battle Royal, man. Fuck Matt Hardy. So he's left with Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy ends up winning this thing. Jungle Boy countered a possible elimination by Christian, who was getting booed at this point because everybody was obviously pro Jungle Boy. They fought on the apron. Great spot where Christian went for the kill switch. He pushed Jungle Boy into the ring post. Jungle Boy rotated around the steel post on the outside, went to the opposite side of the ring, backdropped Christian to the floor afterwards to win this thing, and that was it. Jungle Boy wins the match. He's the number one contender for Kenny Omega in the AEW title. Luchasaurus came out. Marco Stunt came out to celebrate. Christian was in the ring and told Jungle Boy to make the most of the opportunity. And it was a great moment for Christian to kind of pass the torch there to Jungle Boy. It was asked in the post-show scrum what exactly Christian told to Jungle Boy, and that's exactly what it was. Go out there, own this opportunity, go and show the world what you could do. And like you said before, Jesse, Christian came in. It almost seemed like Tony Khan was booking him in a redemption storyline right to the top for the world title. He was getting booed here. I think Tony Khan is a smart man. He knows that either the crowd knew it was predictable he was going to win this thing. I think everybody knew that his debut was botched. And Tony Khan knows what the fans are saying. I think he's very in tune with what's going on, not necessarily with what we do. I don't know if anybody watches the show or not, but it's been very vocal in the community about how he was introduced. And now it seems like he's completely went 180 with it. And Christian put over Jungle Boy and gave him the torch on Sunday night. And like you said, that's the best way for him to be booked, because if Christian won this match, it would have completely derailed everything that they want to accomplish with Christian. He would have been a heel, but Tony Khan maintained that with him by putting over Jungle Boy. And I think Tony Khan was up to that and realized what was going on.
Yeah, maybe. But this seemed like completely the right decision. And but I don't know. As I'm sitting there listening to you go over the recap of it, this might be a pretty good avenue and a good time to actually turn Christian Cage heel. Look, and I'm only saying that if the goal is to still try to get him into the ring with Kenny Omega or whoever the AEW champion is later, because if Christian were to come out and somehow try to swindle Jungle Boy into a match and vie for that number one contendership spot and turn heel on Jungle Boy and take it in the process, he would be a dick.
Yeah.
He would be a fucking dick, and he turned on somebody that the fans actually give a shit about, and he went about it in that dickish way. And now, going forward, people will care about him. So, but look, that's only if you're hell bent on getting him to that top spot, and if you're just content with helping him with using him to get others over and around the mid card, keep him babyface and do exactly what you're doing now. But I just don't want to see him push to the top right now as he looks as a babyface.
How do you think they booked this Jungle Boy Omega match, which they showed on the pay-per-view will be happening in 2 weeks? How do you think they booked this thing? Is it going to be a situation where they're really going to try and move Jungle Boy up another rung of that ladder, have him come close with those believable near falls and, try and take down Omega the best he can, but ultimately fall in the end? How is this match going to be booked, and what do you think this is going to do for Jungle Boy?
I kind of see it. I don't know. It depends on how they want to go with it. But me, what I would do, I would use the Jungle Boy match with Kenny to transition and easily get Kenny into another title match with Luchasaurus. I would have Jungle Boy pretty much damn near win the match, but with interference from the Good Brothers, Don Callis, everything else, anyone else you just gotta protect them, and that's right. And then but make it so fucking vicious to the point where then Luchasaurus comes in and says, you know what, fuck this. Well, why wasn't he out there? Maybe Jungle Boy insisted that he goes about this alone and don't come out no matter what happens because he wants to prove a point. And then he brings out the Good Brothers and the Bucks and everything else, and they just completely screw Jungle Boy out of it. Then Luchasaurus campaigns for a match on Jungle Boy's on behalf because he's already out and dead because they killed him. That would be a way to then get Luchasaurus into a title match without having him have to go through the ranks. Because how would he get a title match? Because they killed Jungle Boy. He can't come out and get his rematch that he deserves because he got screwed over. So he went on ahead and sanctioned someone else to take his spot, Luchasaurus. Something like that. But just long as something comes of this rather than, hey, he had a good match with Kenny, it was good, now put him back in the tag division and that's all over. I mean, what's the stepping stone? What is the rub? You know? It needs to be something better than just a great match with Kenny Omega.
Yeah. My question when Jungle Boy actually came out, he was the first one to come out during the post-show scrum. My question to him was, obviously we've seen him grow over the year. Great singles matches this year. I highlighted the Dax Harwood match. He's had great matches with pretty much everybody he's been in the ring with. He's just been pushed more, in my eyes, as a single more than he has been in a tag team with Luchasaurus. And I said, with your consistent winning ways and great matches as a single so far this year, how's the support been from Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt? What type of backing system do you have there? And he said, Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt, they are thrilled with what's going on. And he said that legitimately those two are his best friends in life. And that was a great thing to hear. Because it makes all these moments that he's doing and the success that he's having more meaningful because he's got his fucking best friends there. I didn't know that. That's a great thing to hear. And then with everything that's going on with Jungle Boy, a lot of people were asking, does this mean possibly? And I pose this question to you: Do you see a situation where Luchasaurus, storyline wise, goes heel on Jungle Boy? Do they break up Jurassic Express?
It's always possible, but I hope not. It's when you get a tag team, a tag team that's over as they are, the possibility of a breakup is always there. But I would personally love to see Jurassic Express go the route of like the New Day, one of those teams that just, I don't care what happens, they're not breaking up.
Yeah.
You can separate them, they can go singles, but you're never going to officially break them up. You're never going to break up FTR. They're never going to have singles runs.
No.
They're going to be a tag team. The Bucks are going to be a tag team. I think Jurassic Express should remain and stay a tag team. I don't want to see either one of those guys not only individually turn heel, but I don't want to see the team turn heel.
No, me neither. I think you position them and you use this momentum that Jungle Boy's accumulated for himself and have them be the team to take down the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I think what they're doing, they have to try to keep Luchasaurus on a warmer. They can't just take him off the fucking stove.
Yeah.
But I think what they're trying to do is build up Jungle Boy's credibility from him being, when he started off in the company, it's just a small guy that the fans love. No, they're going to build him up as a legit worker. And then while they're keeping Luchasaurus on that back burner, keeping him warm, pair them back up. And now that Jungle Boy has established himself a lot higher in the ranks, now the Jurassic Express as a team is even more credible, and they could easily walk into any title match and be deemed as a favorite to win it.
Yeah. Yeah, this
so
was
as opposed to because it felt like at the beginning of it was they got Luchasaurus and he got a couple of small guys with him. You're like, no man, now Jungle Boy is legitimate and he's been in some big time matches, and when he nails this match with Kenny Omega, he is no longer a lackey. He is a number 1A with Luchasaurus in that tag team.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see what those two guys do together. Big fan of what Jungle Boy is doing. Jesse, what I'm not a big fan of is how the show died after this match, after the Battle Royal, after the Jungle Boy Christian Cage moment. We go from that to the American Dream, Cody Rhodes, out there with Arn Anderson and Anthony Ogogo in this match with QT Marshall. The show died. The crowd died. There are more than one reason or more than one reasons to know why this show died and the momentum of the crowd died. The energy of the crowd died. You could tell this was Ogogo's debut. I don't know if he looked nervous or not on TV. I didn't get that vantage point, but he did not look terrible. I will give him that. He didn't look terrible in this match.
No, he did not.
You know, one too many fucking jumping elbow drops for my liking. I mean, it almost looked like he was just leaning on that one move. But what did the commentary team say in regards to Anthony? I was going to call him a no-go. I don't want to disrespect him. Ogogo. Does he have a broken rib? Did they mention the broken rib?
On commentary, they said that he suffered a rib injury in training, sparring, something like that. So they never said broken rib. They put the rib injury in the commentary throughout the match. Right away, every time he hit a high impact move, I was like, oh, Ogogo has that. He has that rib injury. He has that rib injury. You know, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe he has a rib injury and they're going to work around it. Then this guy goes off and starts doing fucking standing vertical suplexes and frog splashes. Look, dude, there's no way in the hell this guy has a fucking broken rib.
So he Chris Jericho'd himself.
Yeah. Look, maybe he bruised it. Maybe it was a little painful. Maybe it was stinging him. But there's no way in hell he did the stuff that he did last night and was still able to breathe. There's no way. It's impossible. So as far as a broken rib, no. He did work more than we saw him work in his first two matches, which is good. But the ending of that match did him no favors. None.
Listen, man, you know, like I said before, I'm not going to completely shit on Ogogo. He did not look bad. But I think the problem with all of this is they forced this match on everybody with a terribly forced storyline. I don't think anybody looks at Cody Rhodes and thinks the American dream. I don't think anybody wants to see that. I think it's terribly forced. Ogogo and Cody Rhodes does not scream pay-per-view match to me. This barely screamed Dynamite match to me, watching this on pay-per-view, watching this live there. And the fact of the matter is, Ogogo lost. Like, I'm not a wrestling savant, okay? I don't book wrestling. I don't work for AEW. I don't work for WWE. But I know from my fan experience that if you're putting somebody in a position like this with one of your biggest names, an EVP of AEW, your intent to put him in this match is for him to go over and for him to be built as the next big thing in AEW. None of that happened. He lost. He lost decisively. He didn't really look all that good doing it. And now this is the first impression of Anthony Ogogo to everybody inside Daily's Place and the AEW faithful. Like you said, how is he going to battle back from this when people have such a terrible opinion of him coming out of Sunday's pay-per-view? It may be, I don't want to say it's over, but it certainly is going to be an uphill battle for Anthony Ogogo.
It does, man. I mean, look, Anthony Ogogo is a cake that they took out of the oven way too early. If they'd have left him in a little bit longer, it would have been a little bit more firm. It would have stayed, and it would have been fantastic. Bring it out and then let it cool. They took it out quick, and it fucking deflated. He's decent in the ring, but clearly he could use some more work. This guy, I would have kept him behind a commentary booth for another year and kept him in training and brought him into the show as a main event badass because he has the look, he has the sound, he has the mic skills for it. He just needed the in-ring work. He already has the story behind it. But now they brought him out as a mediocre wrestler who lost to Cody at the pay-per-view. Wasted him.
Listen, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know I can't ask these questions because then I'm going to come off and be a fucking absolute dick. I would have asked these types of questions, but I don't want to ruin relationships with these people. I want to be invited back when I go to Chicago, you know? But yeah, like why is Cody in this position? It almost seems like, what did you hear online today? There was a report about something, Cody Rhodes. Is it valid to think that Cody Rhodes is, I don't want to label him Triple H of AEW, but is it valid to say he's on a fucking ego trip in AEW with how he handles himself. Like, we've been saying it for months now. He's in shit that he doesn't need to be in. He didn't even need to be on this show last night. If this match wasn't on the show, I would have gotten out of there half an hour earlier.
Yeah. The match didn't need to be. It was forced in. The reason behind it made no sense. I mean, just out of the blue, all of a sudden, Cody woke up and decided to be just a super all-American with the vibes of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and just made Ogogo an enemy combatant of the country for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Ogogo's whole gimmick is him hating America. I mean, Cody just came out and told us this shit.
Yeah.
It made no sense. And it goes back to everything I've been saying about Cody weeks before. I mean, I've been saying this shit for weeks. Cody is he's just feeling himself, or I don't know, but he's not putting anyone over, and everything he does is completely overbooked, over the top, and nonsensical these days. And again, keep in mind, I love Cody.
I think Cody's great. I think Cody's great, but you said it to me earlier that he needs to go heel. Is it going to be a situation where we need to creatively book him heel, or is he just going to go heel because the fans are going to get so pissed off about everything?
They're almost getting to the point where even if they turn him heel and continue down this path, we still know he's an EVP booking himself to go over younger talent, which is the heat that he has right now with the fans. He's legitimately just putting himself over talent that needs the rub. I mean, unless they just planned on Ogogo not amounting to anything, why would you come and beat the guy on his first pay-per-view match? For no reason. I mean, if Cody lost it, it'll be no skin off his nose.
I don't know.
I mean, he'd lose the match and then go away and, become a father with his wife and then come back and then try to make up for it later. But you just can't the weigh-in, this guy has pyro going off when they announce his weight on the weigh-in. Why?
Why? He can afford himself that. He's using Mr. Khan's payroll.
Man,
he's an EVP.
There's color in every match that he does. Everything is made to feel like it's so super important. I'm going to call myself the American Dream now. Why?
Listen,
why?
Man. Listen, unless you can't even tell these types of storylines with the way the fucking world is nowadays, man. Well, what type of victory is it for America over Anthony Ogogo? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's just stupid. Cody used to be he is still one of the especially nowadays, this generation, an unbelievable storyteller, but I can't just get it out of my head that he puts himself in these situations where he didn't need to be on last night's show. I would rather see less of him than what we saw of him last night.
Yeah, it legitimately feels like he's just trying to make himself the face of the company. Yeah. Like he's forcing himself to be the face of the company when he doesn't need to be, which means he's taking a spotlight from others. I mean, that's a spot that should be clearly and solely in the hands of Jon Moxley. But every time we see a TNT promo, we see Cody. Every time we see an announcement for something big for the company, here's Cody. Every time we have a mid-card match with someone who is a promising talent, here comes Cody to put himself over said talent.
Yeah.
I mean, why? It has the feelings of, I'm like you. I'm literally just like you. I stopped watching WWE during the Super Cena days.
Yep.
I got tired of Cena winning every damn match, every week, every pay-per-view. And that's what Cody's looking like now. And it's a turnoff. It's not fun.
Cody may have to go the way of Roman Reigns.
He may have to. And if he doesn't hurry up, that won't even help.
No. Like, the match itself wasn't bad, like I mentioned before. There was a Ogogo distraction here. He distracted the referee. This allowed QT Marshall, who was in Ogogo's corner, to smack Cody, get a cheap shot in there. Arn Anderson came over, chased QT up the ramp. Ogogo, he took Cody, hit a fireman's carry slam for a 2. Cody came back with a knee strike. Then they were both in their corner. They regrouped. Ogogo sold his eye. He was cut on his forehead. Cody cut off some shots by Ogogo, took him down with a bulldog. Cody cut her. Cody then placed Ogogo on the top rope. But Ogogo landed his right jab, sending Cody to the mat. We've seen enough of that already, to a point where I don't want to see it anymore. Ogogo went back to the top rope, he actually hit a very nice frog splash. I'll give him that. Yeah, he didn't move terribly in the ring. He didn't seem out of place.
Especially for having a broken rib.
Well, I mean, like I said, maybe he did Jericho himself. But he did hit a very nice frog splash. He wasn't terrible. It's just everything else that just combines into what we don't like here. It's not looking good for him already. Cody came back with a drop kick and locked on the figure four. Ogogo tried to punch himself out of it. He eventually does. So Cody was beaten down, and Cody, he surprised Ogogo by going for a crossroads. Ogogo landed another body shot. He went for a cover. Cody went under the ropes. And Ogogo went for his I guess he calls it the governor's hammer, his right hand. Cody turned it into a vertebraker for the win, and that was it. The end came out legitimately out of nowhere, and that was pretty much a very anticlimactic. We all figured Cody was going to win. We were hoping that maybe Ogogo would go over, but that was it. It was a very short match, barely went about 10 minutes, 11 minutes, and the crowd died. The crowd didn't care. There was no reason for anybody to care about this. And they just wanted to move on to the next segment.
Dude, let me ask you this, because Edgar just had a pretty good point in the chat. What is the fucking purpose of creating... remember QT Marshall and that phenomenal pre-recorded promo that he did?
Yep. Probably the best thing he did on TV.
The best fucking thing. So where has the Nightmare Factory gone from here? Why did they create the Nightmare Factory? Because they are a bunch of jobbers at this. They've won nothing.
Nowhere. They've gone nowhere.
They've done nothing.
Camarado didn't look good in the Battle Royal. Solo didn't look good in the Battle Royal. Ogogo lost here. What's the point?
What is the point? Ogogo looked up. I remember the first time I said anything about when they mentioned Ogogo coming to the ring, I said, oh, man, look, JD, you're going to love this guy. He's great on the microphone on Dark. And the look of this guy is going to be fucking amazing. Yeah. He's done nothing. And he looks worse. QT Marshall has lost since then. He looks worse. What is the point of the Nightmare Factory sucks, man. They sucks. And it's mostly because of Cody and this feud.
I don't know, man. Cody, he just needs to go away. I think that would help, subside all of the negative reactions to Cody. He needs to go and not be the face of the company, and he needs to go be the face of his household. No, just go away.
Something, man. Or and when he gets back, they need to, and maybe this is a part of the internal beef that we're hearing about. I don't know. Maybe I've heard nothing about it, but maybe the Bucks and maybe Kenny and maybe everyone is trying to tell him, look, man.
It's funny you mentioned that. Hoot Media mentioned something to me saying that maybe the Heat, they're trying to diet down. Maybe there's some legitimacy to it. Hoot Media said that what if the situation is stemming from a match like Cody versus Ogogo? Maybe the other EVPs don't really believe in Cody or don't agree with Cody, I should say, getting guys like Ogogo on the show, and Cody is forcing his students like Ogogo on the show when the Bucks and all the other people in management are with us and they are in our boat and believe that Ogogo is not really ready for AEW yet. He's not ready to be on Double or Nothing, their biggest show of the year. Could it be stemming from that?
It could be, because this guy, like I said, it seems like they took him out of the oven a little too soon. He doesn't seem worthless. It just seems like, hey, he's not ready.
He's got a great look.
Didn't need to happen.
His physique is great. He's got a great look. You just got to mold him.
I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe this is where the heat is coming from. Maybe they can see his booking getting out of control. Who knows? Maybe this is maybe this is Tony Khan's booking of Cody, which I entirely doubt. But I mean, there's no entertainment value in this, none at all, and it's turning people off to Cody. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here, because the heat on Cody is clear as day. We see it. Tony Khan sees it. Cody sees it. So if they just continue down this path and ignore it, that's the worst thing they can do. The worst. They got to address it, change it, do something going forward.
Yeah. That's got to change, and we're going to change gears into the TNT Championship match, Miro versus Lance Archer. This one went 10 minutes. I was excited to see these two guys work, and then, man, this match underwhelmed the fuck out of me, man. Holy shit. After the botch, which I was actually embarrassed for Lance Archer. I think I don't know if it was during this match or something else during the show, but you mentioned something about slowing down. Man, this match looked like it was all high octane, and instead of working a big man match where they show off their power and do big moves, it almost feels like they rushed through this to try and get a fiery hot match with two big guys and that type of feeling, a quick sprint, I would say. But after the botch, man, the entire match just fell apart. It was bad.
It did. It was, look, Miro took Archer, gave him a power bomb. He folded him up on it. And man, to say that he dropped him literally on the back of his head and neck is an understatement. I don't know how it came off from a distance in the live crowd, but watching it on TV, it was scary.
I didn't see that.
It was scary.
I seen the other aspects of after the botch. It almost seemed like it threw Archer off, and it almost looked like Archer kind of blew himself up. And this match barely went 10 minutes. You can't be doing that. You do have to slow down. This was a big match for Lance Archer. And this was a big match for Miro coming out of winning the TNT Championship from Darby Allin. This was a marquee match for both of these guys. And I don't think anybody looked good here. Archer, I don't want to say he's done, but there's been so much back and forth with Lance Archer. It is starting to be a situation where it's very difficult to care about him. I don't know what they're doing creatively with him, but I honestly think at this stage, with all the indecision, they've botched Lance Archer.
Yeah, and the funny part is, it seems like he comes off botched just by one creative decision. One.
Yeah.
Because the build-up to this match was perfectly fine. Archer had the fucking intensity of a killer.
Yep.
And so did Miro and everything else. And then they started using Jake a little bit more than normal in this build up and everything else. So the writing was all over the wall because Miro couldn't lose and Archer shouldn't be losing because of the path they had him on. So what was going to happen? Everybody, especially me, I'm thinking that, okay, Jake is going to actually turn on Lance. Makes sense because as a babyface, he doesn't need Jake anymore. Side with Miro. We can deal with that, and everything else. But then that also keeps Lance strong in the loss. Yeah. They just beat him clean.
Yeah. I was thinking legitimately the same thing. They fucked up this entire match. Not even talking about the botch. Creatively, they fucked it up. They went hot right at the start after the botch. Archer did his walking top rope Undertaker-esque moonsault, which looked great. He chokeslammed Miro to the outside through a table. That looked great. But it was when Jake came in that they had a chance to redeem themselves in this match because the story to make this match get to the next couple weeks of Dynamite, maybe on it to All Out, it was so simple. Jake comes out, he's dressed in something similar to what he used to wear in his second run back in the WWE around the King of the Ring days with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It looked like he had one of his vests on. Comes out with a bag. It looks like he had it was supposed to have a snake in it. I doubt there was a snake in it. But he comes out with this bag, implying that there was a snake in the bag. Miro, he beats down Roberts, takes the snake bag, and throws it up the fucking ramp. Somebody in the post-show scrum asked a PETA question. Do you think PETA would be upset about that? I chuckled. I'm like, what a fucking ridiculous goddamn question. You got the fucking boss man up there. You're asking him about a goddamn fucking snake in a bag. Give me a break. So we got Miro throwing the bag up the aisleway. So Archer is trying to come back from this, and Jake was all blown up. I thought he was going to have a fucking heart attack in the ring. He continued to attack Roberts, but was cut off with the chokeslam from Archer for 2, went for a cover. Archer then put Miro on the top rope, and they were going back and forth, jabbing at each other, slapping each other. Miro fought out of a blackout, kicked out Archer's legs, but Archer surprised Miro with a big pounce. Miro kicked the rope. When Archer tried to come back in, they were on the outside. Archer tried to come back in. Miro kicked the rope, so it obviously low-blowed Archer upon entry into the ring. Suplex, thrust kick. Miro locked in the game over, laid in knee strikes to Archer's back, and locked it in again, and the referee went for the stoppage. So I couldn't tell from my vantage point, Jesse. Was it a stoppage or did he tap out?
He tapped out.
He tapped out. I could not see that live. So he tapped out, and Miro successfully defends the TNT Championship. Jesse and I were on the same page. They had one thing to do creatively here, and they did not do it. Archer does not need Jake. He speaks very well for himself away from Jake. All they had to do to keep Archer strong and to continue this feud was to turn Jake on Archer and have him join Miro in some way, or not join Miro at all, because Miro don't need Jake either.
Yeah, he didn't have to.
Just leave him. He's a disappointment. That would make Archer into a bigger babyface, sympathetic-wise. Jake can go on and do something else. Maybe you come up with a plan to pair him with somebody else, but it would make Archer look strong because he got fucked.
It was a stoppage. My bad. It was a stoppage. I thought it was a tap out.
Okay.
But yeah, even if, because putting Jake with Miro also doesn't make too much of sense, because Miro is, I don't want to say Miro is a white hot right now, but he's heating up. He's getting there. Miro is heating up on this title run. So get Jake away from Lance and bring in Jake's next protege. Bring in another. They gotta have so many fucking so much talent on the back burner waiting to debut. Bring in another heel. Feud that person with Lance with Jake by his side.
I don't know, man. I'm over it. I don't care.
Shit.
I don't really care.
No,
I was a big Archer guy, man. I don't care.
It's the dynamic has changed when Archer turned babyface with Jake. You put him in this match with Miro. Neither one of them should be losing. The only way to save face on this for anyone was for there to be some kind of fuck finish to protect Archer, and they failed at it. So all that badass shit, all those nice promos he was cutting, everything else, just tells me he's full of shit.
Yeah, nobody looked good here. This match was the most disappointing match on the entire show. AEW Women's Championship, Britt Baker. She was with Rebel. Hikaru Shida. AEW Women's Championship. I know everybody was looking forward to Britt Baker winning this title, and you felt it inside Daly's place. Everybody knew. There's not one fucking person in that venue and watching at home that did not think Britt Baker was not going to win this championship. And they came out, and I texted Jesse during the show, and I looked over at Hoop Media, and we both thought the same thing. Why are they giving us a 20-minute story-driven match when everybody in that venue is basically waiting on the outcome of the match that they already know is going to happen before the bell even fucking rings? Why are you trying so hard to put on a story when we all know Britt Baker is going to win the match? Now, what I said and what Hoop Media said was, why don't they just go balls to the wall for about 10, 12 minutes, high octane, make it really personal, maybe go back and revisit the Britt Baker bloody spot that they put on the t-shirt. Might not have to be that same exact spot, but, recreate something from their earlier feud or one of their earlier matches and give us two women that are going at it head to head and just go right to the ending. Like, I understand you want to make it special, but it's also ridiculous when you take all of us and our intelligence for granted. Like, we knew you were going to win the match. Like, this was your moment. You don't need to try so hard to tell a story that just isn't there. And what happened, Jesse, in the live crowd, I don't know how it came off on TV. For most of the match, up until maybe the last 3 or 4 minutes, the match was dead. The crowd was dead because they were waiting for the ending.
Pretty much. Pretty much. It almost seems like the reaction that Britt Baker got when she came out.
It was great.
It was like one of, hey, we're applauding our new champion, because they knew she was gonna win.
Yeah.
It was just her time, and I get you don't wanna Kofi versus Brock Lesnar, Shida,
No.
Oh, you want to do that? You want to do it.
I'm talking maybe
she can stay strong when you use it later. But
I'm talking maybe Lesnar Balor length, 7, 8, 9 minutes, whatever.
Yeah, it just needed to be a dominant win. It needed to be no question. So when Britt Baker goes on this lengthy, and it needs to be a lengthy run, that she won in dominant fashion and everything else. But look, I guess we're splitting hairs at this point. Britt Baker won. The match wasn't as good as anybody wanted it to be, but she won and she deserves it, and she definitely fucking earned it. Again, one of the questions I would have loved to have asked Tony Khan was how he felt about the ascension of Britt Baker from where she started to where she is right now, because it's night and day.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
Yeah, I think somebody asked her that specifically. I don't know who it was that asked her that, but she mentioned the question was all the negativity surrounding the women's division, and then obviously people thinking Britt was never gonna really amount to anything, and how slow she started. Obviously, Britt, like everybody else, and this has been my mentality through my YouTube journey here. You take all the negativity, you take all the bullshit and the fucking detractors, and you use that as fuel. That is your greatest source of fuel. So that's exactly what she did. The video packages for Britt were fucking fantastic. Her working out, her going to work.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that she had help from a lot of different people inside AEW, whether it's Tony, MJF she mentioned, Jericho, all the agents, Dustin.
And a lot of Bebe help too.
Listen, nobody mentioned Bebe. It's not. It wouldn't be right to mention Bebe in the scrum, because right. I didn't want anybody to come off thinking, or Britt to come off thinking, this is my moment. You're asking me about my fucking fiance. Give me a break.
Right.
But he definitely, you see, like it's not. It's apparent to everybody. You see Bebe in Britt. Like
you can see his work, and if nothing alone, she wasn't doing that super kick at the beginning. You can
see everything that he is doing influential to Britt Baker, and you don't need to ask. You just see it. If you're a wrestling fan, you know. But the rise of Britt is a beautiful thing to see, because she was the first woman signed to AEW, the first face that we saw for the AEW women's division. You and I both were not pleased with the way she started. I thought we were going to get something that paid off a little quicker. But like I told you many times on the show Wednesday night, it's a beautiful thing to see somebody go through that struggle, come to this point right now, and get to where she is, and eventually win the championship. She looked like $1 million. She sounds like $1 million. She's going to be the face of that women's division. If you don't enjoy what Britt Baker's doing right now, I don't really know what you're thinking. But I'm happy for that woman. I think she is going to be great. And there's no shortage of opponents right now. We fantasy booked a Statlander. She's got her ready-made feud with Thunder Rosa. That's going to be fucking incredible when it happens. I mean, the women's division is, if given time, and she did mention this in the scrum too, give it time. A lot of these women were not TV ready. Yeah, and it seems like they're taking a slow and sure, let's let the Turtles pace for the women's division, but it's being done right. And they could have, if time allows it, they could have a better women's division than NXT if they want to, and that's exactly where they're going upwards.
They really are, man. It's again, I'm extreme, and when people, like at the beginning of her run when she wasn't very good, and then people were called the haters, and people who were talking shit about her, people who were bashing her and everything else, people who were criticizing her. I mean, let's say all those people, when she first started off, just blew sunshine up her ass and called her great and perfect. Would she have the drive to go out and improve the way that she did? I mean, I'm just like me. I was spearheading it because it was just so bad. And like, she is terrible, especially seeing as how the position they drafted her in and the position that they're putting her in. She's not ready. This is a terrible idea. I was in the front line of leading that Britt Baker is terrible charge. But instead of just sitting around and saying people are hating on you and blocking people and calling everybody else names, go out there and get better.
Yeah.
Go fucking fix it. Thousands upon thousands of people are not hating on you. You just need to get better. And without blowing sunshine up your ass, you're a big girl. Look, you went out there and you tried. You fucking suck. Go get better. You know what she did? She fucking went out and got better, and she became the best. I mean, she's up there in the top echelon of women in wrestling today. I mean, is she the best ever? No. But due to her hard work and where she got to from where she started, Britt Baker's in the conversation of some of the best. And I put her easily, without even guessing, top 10 females in all of pro wrestling right now.
Yeah, and WWE, they're thinking, how could we stop momentum here? Did you see the Nia Jax clip that they uploaded on Instagram with Nia Jax leg dropping Britt Baker a very young Britt Baker in a squash match. Did you see that clip?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the day of the pay-per-view, bro, they uploaded a fucking reel on Instagram with Nia Jax showing off how dominant Nia Jax was. Of all the opponents and footage that they have, they chose a match with Britt Baker.
Anything to try to stop someone else's growth and momentum.
Yep. It's so petty. Nobody asked about that in the scrum, which I think that would have been a terrible question to ask. I was maybe contemplating it, but I would rather be safe than sorry. But that goes to show you what type of influence she's having on women's wrestling right now. The fact that WWE's got to be that petty to do that, everybody's taking note of what she's doing, and she should be fucking smiling from ear to ear just based off that.
Yep. If you look at it, Britt Baker has had a Becky Lynch type meteoric rise with her broken nose and everything else.
And Tony Khan actually mentioned that in the scrum. He said word for word, the best thing that happened to Britt Baker was she broke her nose. And she got that visual there with the bloody face on the t-shirt that they made a t-shirt out of. He said that was the best thing that happened to her. After that, it was only to the stars.
She's a killer.
Yeah.
She means straight to the top of this division. She's going to make the other females around her better.
Yeah.
They're going to become better because she is so good. I wish you would have went back and watched that. She had a jobber match on Dark or something like that weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And like I said, it wasn't even a real match. She conducted the match with a microphone and just cut a promo all through the match while beating this jobber. And it was just so damn entertaining.
That sounds very old school on something I'd see on WWF Superstars back in the 90s.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so simple. It was just so good. I don't even know who this jobber was. She was a temporary talent, and it was just so entertaining the way she did it, and that was a sign of where she was just growing in the promo department. And then that match with Thunder Rosa, and then there's her growth in the ring department. Thunder Rosa is also a huge component. They brought in Thunder Rosa probably to help get Britt Baker over, and whatever they paid her, they should have doubled it.
Yeah, I agree. After the match here, we got Tony Schiavone. He left commentary. He walked right through where the poker chips were on the stage. He met Britt as she was leaving up the ramp to hug her. Very nice moment. She praised him in the scrum after the show was over with all of us and said that Tony has been a huge proponent in her success, and she considers him a genuine one of her best friends. So that was a nice moment there. And Britt's the new women's champion. We will see how they begin her reign on Dynamite Friday night and who her first opponent will be. But congratulations to Britt. She definitely has earned the right to be women's champion. Jesse, Sting and Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. This match I didn't really take much interest in leading up to it, and I know how you felt about Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. But this was a match where we both thought that Darby Allin was going to do the bulk of the work for his team, and it was actually the other way around on Sunday night. This was one of my favorite matches of the night. This was one of my favorite moments of the year, and I'm not even a big Sting guy. This is one of my favorite moments of the year, and Sting pretty much on Sunday night said when he woke up, everybody that thinks I'm 62 years old and I should not be here, and WWE denied me time and time and time again about a match with The Undertaker because it wouldn't work or this or that. He woke up on Sunday morning and said, I'm going to shut everybody up. And that's exactly what he did. He deaded everybody's opinion on what he could do in that ring Sunday night. And he gave what I thought was an absolutely incredible performance to what I thought was probably the biggest pop of the entire night when he jumped off fucking poker chips to do a goddamn cross-body splash on both Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. How did it come off on TV, and what the hell were you thinking when you seen Sting just launch himself, got to be about 10 feet in the air, off those poker chips to the outside to the floor?
So when Sting debuted, believe it or not, I did not hold in my feelings about Sting and why he was here, what he was doing here. And even the weeks following it, it still made no sense as to what they were doing. So if I'm going to look back at everything as how he was brought in and how they've used him, I am 100% happy with how they're using Sting and what Sting is doing. Look, guys, you'll hear what you think are just contradicting opinions about legends and using them in the ring. but they're all very consistent if you really look at it. We want to see Sting. We want to see him help get others over. We want to have him get his chance to shine, but not take shine away from someone who needs it right now. You know, they beat Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page. Great. Those guys are going nowhere right now. They're on the fast track to nothing. You don't see Sting in the ring every week. All right. He came out for the pay-per-view. He put on the best match that he could possibly put on at this given moment in time. He was given the time to do it, and he killed it.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see. You know, I mean, that's what we want to see. Christian Cage comes out, outwork everyone. He's going to be here every week, and he's going for Kenny. We don't want to see that from a legend. All right, that's not what we want to see. We want to see you come out and entertain us, give us that nostalgia feel from what you used to do, show us what you can still do, help put others over, and not take main event spots from up-and-coming talent. Sting is being used to absolute perfection right now, and that match last night proved it. It was entertaining. It wasn't in a main event. It wasn't for a major title, and it was entertaining. What more can you ask for from the guy?
Hats
off.
Yeah, absolutely. Did WWE leave a lot of money on the table by letting Sting go? And after all these years, I'm not saying the match should have happened last year or the year before that, but did WWE leave a lot of money on the table with not having Sting and The Undertaker in a ring at WrestleMania when they should have been in the ring at WrestleMania together? Yes.
That is where Sting would have been best served in WWE. Not in a title match with Seth Rollins.
No.
That was the wrong move. Look, you got these guys who are up there in age, Sting and The Undertaker. You got them both on the same roster. You have the people asking for the match. Give me one good reason why you didn't do it. I mean, the people want it. They want to spend money on it. Take their money.
Yeah.
Give it to them.
Yeah. Well, Tony
That's all you had to do.
Well, Tony Khan again, you know, I don't want to sound like a kiss ass, but you know, I have a genuine appreciation for Tony Khan after being almost fucking 10 feet away from him, you know, separated by only a thin piece of rope, and him on a stage last night at the post-show scrum. Comes off incredibly genuine. You see that he loves everything about this, and you just feel it when you're standing in front of him. Him bringing in Sting, I'm telling you, bro, he looks like a fucking genius by bringing in Sting. Yeah. If this is the way he's being used, and this is what Tony Khan thought about when he was first introducing Sting to the AEW audience, Tony Khan looks like a fucking genius after this match concluded last night with the way Sting performed. Like, I don't know if Tony knew that he was going to get that out of Sting, or if Sting just fucking surprised everybody on his own, but everybody, I mean, Steve Borden and Tony Khan look like fucking geniuses.
They did, and another like side note of that, if you notice how the end of this pay-per-view did not end in such a fashion that it made everyone just shit on the entire show.
No,
I mean they did what they did, and they kept it simple. They kept it simple towards the end. Even when they brought in their new signee last night, they didn't bring him in saying Hall of Famer, this is that, all these accolades, you gotta see who it is, this is gonna be great. Nobody heard anything about them bringing in Mark Henry. Showed up, popped the internet, great moment, not an oversell, everybody was happy to see him. That's how they should have brought in Christian Cage. Yep. Tony Khan is learning from his mistakes, and that's always good to see.
Yeah, we'll talk about Mark Henry in a bit, because that happened after the Omega triple threat match, but as far as this, Jesse, one more question before I break this thing down towards the end of it. A lot of people, I see some people even in the chat now, 62-year-old Sting doing what he did last night and beating Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Do you have a problem with that, or should it have been the other way around? Because, you know, normally I would say, you know, the older guy coming on in here, burying the younger talent. I don't think Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky looked buried last night. They were probably more thrilled than fucking anybody to be in that match with Sting and get that reaction just being there with him. Sting was presented perfectly last night. I don't see it as a negative that the younger guys laid down for the older veteran. What do you think?
No, in this instance, no. I mean, it's, again, guys, I mean, a lot of these things we say, they're subjective to the situation that we're in. And Sky and Page are literally going nowhere right now.
No.
I mean, you wouldn't take this outcome, and you wouldn't put like Jurassic Express in that spot. You know, you wouldn't put FTR in that spot to get beat by Sting, and that would be a complete burial.
Yeah.
But these guys are young and talented wrestlers who can help Sting come to a great match. Let's not forget that too. What these guys did, they helped Sting come to a great match. And they didn't derail any momentum or plans that they had going on. These guys were already at the bottom and not really getting over. So they can start a push from this loss and go up. What you don't want to do is put a team in there that's had 5, 6 straight, 7 wins straight, and then go have them lose to a retired veteran. That's stifling momentum, all right? And that's taking a spot from younger talent. These guys put it like this. You look at the outcome. So if Sting wins or if Scorpio Sky and Paige wins, what has the bigger upside? Since Paige and Sky are doing nothing and people are literally there to see Sting, why not give Sting this rub? He needs to get this win. Yeah. And it would help more than the other two winning right now.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been good. I don't think it would have been good for the show at all for Sting to lose this and fucking kill the momentum of this crowd. Are you kidding me?
No.
The only outcome was for Sting to win here. So Sky and Paige, they were beating down Darby Allin. Darby Allin was fucking bumping these guys all over the place. At one point, Ethan Page lifted Darby over his head and threw him into the front row with a bench press slam. Fucking crazy. They went after Allin, targeting his chest and his midsection area. They were taunting Sting while he was on the outside waiting for the hot tag. Allin finally escaped the double team, tagged in Sting. Referee didn't see it. Got a big pop out of the crowd because they all wanted to go hot for Sting. So, like I said, Ethan Page press slammed Allin right into the front row. I believe it was Darby Allin's family is what I was told. I'm not sure if that was the case or not. So Page went for the ego's edge. Allin locked on a sleeper. Hit the over-the-top Stun Dog Millionaire. He tagged in Sting for the hot tag. Sting ran wild with clotheslines. Stinger splash, got a big pop. Fucking guy, 62-year-old Sting hitting a goddamn code red. And it looked, from my vantage point, I don't know how it looked on television. It looked fucking beautiful, man. I didn't think I was going to see it as beautiful as it was. But listen, man, Amazing Red would be thrilled. He'd be fucking smiling from ear to ear, man. What a fucking moment that was. Crowd got crazy. Everybody standing on their feet. You still got it, Chance, ringing out through Daly's place. Crazy.
Nah, it wasn't a great code red. He got no
from
air.
My fan, from where I was seeing it look great.
He got no air on it. He just rolled into it.
Listen, man, you got it. Listen, you can't let no air.
He got no air in that code red, dude. None.
Whatever, man. The fact that he even attempted it and pulled it off as good as he did, I'll give him that. So he got the code red there. You still got it, Chance. Allin went to the top rope. Sky took him down, and Page attacked Sting from behind. Page then hit a ego's edge on Allin onto Sting, which looked devastating. Allin fought out of whatever they had planned next. Sting then transitioned into a Scorpion Deathlock, but he wasn't the legal man. So Allin applied a Fujiwara armbar. I believe it was on Sky, and Ethan Page was in the Deathlock. Sky entered and slapped on a heel hook on Darby Allin. Page and Allin, the two men that were legal, I believe, locked in submissions. They were slapping each other and gouging each other's eyes until everyone let go of the hold. Sting and Sky tagged in, exchanged right hands. Sky tried to chop down Sting. Sting fired up, but Sky avoided a Stinger splash. Sky went for the slingshot cutter. Sting countered it, hit a Scorpion Death Drop for a massive pop for the 1-2-3, and that was it. Sting and Darby Allin win in what I thought was probably the most biggest pop of the entire night, with Sting jumping off the goddamn poker chips, and his entrance in person was awesome. To see the snow come down, it just I'm glad I got to experience that before he eventually, in the next couple of years, calls it a day. But I love this match, Jesse. I thought it fit perfectly on this card for Sunday night.
Now I'm getting beat on again. It was a roll up. He didn't do it. Okay, it was on paper a code red, but I could have slid a piece of paper under it and it never would have made it through clean because he just rolled into the code red. I don't know. Great match. Nice attempt. I'm happy about the win, but wasn't a good code red. All right.
That's it. So listen, how many criticisms have there been, man? Leave them alone, all right? Just cut the shit out, chat. Okay?
Wasn't a good code red, dude. Sorry.
It's a fair assessment. You thought it was a decent code red. It wasn't a good one in your eyes. The crowd thought it, or the chat
wasn't
thought
a botch.
it was good.
It wasn't a botch. It was a code red by a 62-year-old guy. You know, what are you gonna do?
Whatever. As long as it's not Goldberg dropping fucking people on his heads, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, moving on here. AEW Championship. I'm not gonna break this thing down. I mean, if I was to break this thing down, I'd be here for fucking another 3 hours. AEW Championship. Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy, Pac. This was, I would say, one of the best matches of the night, if not the best wrestled match of the entire night. I thought some people said this was the match of the night. I would not argue over that if you were stating that as your opinion to me. Most of this was awesome. I do think Jesse, like the tag team match earlier with Moxley, Kingston, the Bucks, could have been shaved by 6 or 7 minutes or so. I do think that they tried to over accentuate the near falls in this thing, but I get it. The crowd was completely sold on everything these three guys did. Everybody, for the majority of this thing, was on their feet. Orange Cassidy is a made man in AEW. It is amazing to see Orange Cassidy, and Tony Khan said that he didn't want Orange Cassidy to wrestle for the first year of him being in AEW. That was his decision because he wanted the character to just be and then slowly break him out of his bubble. Now I look at where Orange Cassidy is and how beloved he is, not only by Tony Khan, but by all the AEW faithful. I don't give a fuck who you are. Jim Cornette, Ryback, all these guys that criticize Orange Cassidy. This guy is one of the best characters. And I'm going to say he's very good at what he does in the ring. He is a damn good pro wrestler. Orange Cassidy is at the top of, I don't want to put him in the upper echelon, but if you were to come up with a top 10 in pro wrestling today, it is very difficult to not include Orange Cassidy. He is amazing. And I don't give a fuck if I get any flack for that or criticism. He is just great at what he does.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool that the guy with the laziest gimmick in all of pro wrestling can probably literally outwork most of the guys on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, he can just go. I mean, I will say this, and on the side of the orange haters, that gimmick does have a ceiling, and I think that ceiling is the AEW championship. It doesn't mean that we don't want to see him in the match or see how he does, but I'll be honest, I don't see, I'm not saying it won't happen, but I don't see Orange winning a title higher than the TNT title right now, or a tag title. It just seems like there's just too much comedy in that gimmick itself.
Yeah, and there was
leader of the company.
There was comedy in this match too. There was quite a few spots where Cassidy was doing the hands in the pockets thing with Omega. I mean, I don't really necessarily see that as world championship type portrayal for AEW and the world championship and Omega, but Omega plays it off great. Cassidy does it great. I don't mind it. Crowd loves it. I mean, if the crowd is behind it and they're giving Orange Cassidy those types of reactions, it's very difficult not to enjoy it. But he was one of the more over guys on the entire show last night. And this triple threat match was great. You made a nice point to me when I texted you during the match. Everybody had their moment to shine, and barely anybody, especially in a triple threat match or Battle Royal or a multi-man match of this style, you always see one guy sleeping on the outside. There was none of that here. Everybody worked their fair share, and most of the match went almost half an hour. All three of these guys were in the ring the duration, about 95% of this thing.
Yeah. There's no sleeping in this one, and that's usually the first thing you get these days with any multi-man match, triple threat or fatal four ways, because somebody's gonna move out of the ring and sleep so that they can get spots in. That's not organic. It's not normal. If it's 3 men in the match, they should be in the ring most of the time, and it should be clunky. You shouldn't have ease to just whip someone to the ropes. They should be running into each other. There's multiple people in the match. It would just make sense. Stop trying so hard to put in spots by taking people out of the ring for 10 minutes at a time. It's just insulting.
Yeah, Christian was sleeping in the match. Issa says Christian was sleeping. Yeah, Issa, listen, I mentioned outsleep everybody before. Christian was sleeping the duration of that Battle Royal, but there was none of that here. None of that here at all. But this was awesome. I loved all three of these guys in this match. Pac is, I don't want to say he's underrated. I think Pac needs a big win. He deserves a world title. The guy is just so fucking good. I mean, you talk about perfect pro wrestlers. Pac is definitely up there. He is amazing at what he does. I'd love to see another one-on-one match between him and Omega. It's always a great thing to see. I'd love to see a one-on-one match between Cassidy and Omega as well. Orange was put over very big in this match. Omega, he went for an avalanche, one-winged angel on Pac. Pac turned it into a sunset bomb, hit an avalanche Falcon Arrow on Omega. Orange ran in to try and steal the pin, which was his deal towards the late ending of this match. Omega kicked out of a very close near fall there. Pac and Orange faced off in the corner. Pac was upset that Orange tried to steal his victory. Orange hit his absolutely devastating super kick spot, the weak super kicks. So Pac low-blowed him, which was hilarious. Apparently, there was no DQ in this match, and I don't know if everybody was like, there was some situation towards the end, and I made mention this. It's in my notes here that there's no DQ in this triple threat match, and I mentioned that because everybody was like, oh, with the low blow. It's like it's a legal move.
Legal.
It's all legal, and then the titles, they were brought in one after the other because Don Callis interfered. This was all legal. Like this is as if it's a regular match. You could do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do it more. That should have been chairs. That should have been dick kicks in.
Everything. Everything. People were like, oh my God, how could he do this? It's legal. It's all legal here. Pac landed a black arrow on Orange Cassidy. Omega broke up the pin at the last second, diving in from the outside. Omega avoided a black arrow himself and set Pac up for a one-winged angel, but Pac looked to get the brutalizer on. He did. Orange came in with the orange punch on Pac. And then a beach break on Omega. Crowd was going crazy. The crowd, I don't know if they were drunk or fucking stupid, but they thought Orange Cassidy was going to win this match. They made it believable that he was going to win, but I'm like, come on, people. You guys think Orange Cassidy's going to beat Kenny Omega for the World Championship? Give me a break. So they were hanging on all these near falls after the beach break. Orange caught another low blow attempt from Pac. Fought out of a powerbomb, landing the orange punch on both guys. They really made him look great towards the end. Callis... he left the commentary table. Orange hit the beach break on Pac. Callis pulls the official out of the ring. Orange Cassidy had this match won. Orange went to the top rope, fought off Omega. Pac caught the diving DDT and locked on the brutalizer. Omega tried to break up the hold, but Pac wouldn't let go. So Omega attacked the official and laid out Pac with all of his belts. I found it funny how he used every belt but the AEW title. He brought in the Impact title first and used that. And then he brought in all the other championships that he's got. Every title but the AEW title. Don Callis got a "fuck you, Don" chant that rang out in Daly's place. It was hilarious. And if you're Don Callis, I'm smiling from ear to ear because that's the one chant you want to hear because you're doing your job great. So Orange popped up, took out Omega with an orange punch. Aubrey Edwards ran out to count the pin, but Omega kicked out at 2, locked on a crucifix pin, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. And retained the title because the original referee got knocked out. Aubrey came out, and we got a quick 1, 2, 3 from her, crucifix pin by Omega, and he retains the AEW title. This was fantastic.
It was. It really was. I mean, I remember when Aubrey came out, the crowd popped. We popped at home. My wife started cheering too, like, it's Aubrey. She counted 2, and then she had to roll and count to 3. And she, what are you doing, Aubrey? She's doing her job. The 3 happened. What do you want her to do? Yeah, that was pretty damn good, man. And think about this too, as far as the crowd trying to get behind Orange and wanting him to win and things like that. They want to get behind him, but I don't know if they actually really wanted him to win.
No. You had to be there, man. They wanted him to win. Everybody was legitimately on their feet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, picture like this: put like a heel champion. In a match with R-Truth. R-Truth is over as fuck as a babyface. Yeah. So you put him in a title match, they're gonna root for the underdog and root for him to win because that's what they're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, if R-Truth beats Roman Reigns, everybody who cheered will be pissed by the time they get home. What the fuck is this? Yeah. You want to root for the underdog, and you love this underdog, but you see him get beat by that fucking heel, and he's like, you almost got it, guy. Oh, well, get out of here. he's gonna entertain you, but I think that gimmick has unfortunately a ceiling to it, and I don't know if he's gonna ever be world champion with that particular gimmick. Look, maybe he shreds it a little bit and tweaks it a little bit over the years, and we'll see. But it's just a little bit too much comedy, the same as like Colt Cabana. Too much comedy in there to be considered serious enough to be the world champion somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a nice mix, in my opinion. When you say that, the comedy and then the seriousness, because when he gets seriousness, he's on his game. But maybe he does tweak it. Maybe we see the character evolve. That's going to be the thing about Tony Khan and his management team. How are they going to take something like that clearly has a ceiling and expands on that for years to come? That's going to be one of the things to look forward to. But as far as this, I mean, if they continue doing this, you can tell Tony loves Orange Cassidy. Everybody loves Orange Cassidy. This was a great match for him. Omega doing what he did at the end, knocking the referee out, having Callis come in and cheat, using the titles. It's all legal. Knocking out the referee, it's legal. This is what is going to get Kenny to the point. I don't want to say near Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns right now is just fucking godlike as far as what he does as a heel and with Paul Heyman and all that stuff on SmackDown. But Kenny keeps doing this with Don Callis. They'll be right there, right underneath each other, very neck and neck for number one and number two heels in the business, which they are right now. It's just a little bit more separated than it is. But I'm loving their act. I think Callis, even Tony Khan in the scrum said Callis is, he's going to be here in AEW. He works with Omega. He is going to be a big focus, and he's going to have a home in AEW. So this is not going anywhere anytime soon. So the forbidden door is creeping open, folks. Omega is doing his thing, and I love to see it. Yeah,
Don Callis is really good at his job right now. He's killing it.
Tony Schiavone introduced, he didn't interview, but he introduced Mark Henry as the newest analyst for AEW Rampage. This is the new show that's happening in August. Like Jesse said before, if they only did this with Christian Cage at the last show, bring him out. That's it. That's all you have to do. Not mention a single word. Just come on out. That's it.
Just bring him out. I mean, how shocked were you? Everybody's sitting here listening right now because nothing leaked about this. Nothing got out about this. This is a shock to everybody who saw it. How shocked were you to see Mark Henry show up on AEW? And then you were pleasantly shocked. And you were the total opposite of what you were when you saw Christian Cage come out. Yeah. So they should have did it this way.
I asked Tony, and I texted Jesse when I got back to the hotel room. I texted Jesse what I did to Tony. I asked him one of my questions going in. I got to ask him. I didn't want to mention Miro right out of the gate. And Hoot Media was telling me, don't ask Miro. It may be, don't ask about Miro. It may be too pushy of a question. And I'm like, you got to be pushy. What are you talking about? So I reworded my question, and I centered it around Mark Henry. And I asked Tony, with Mark Henry now being named as an analyst for the commentary team for AEW Rampage, do you have anybody in mind that you want to have on the team to complement him for AEW Rampage? Are you looking for somebody outside to bring on in, or is it going to be a mix of who you got in the company right now? He mentioned something about a big announcement soon. That got my ears to perk up and my fucking eyes to get bigger than they are. And he knew what I wanted to say. He knew Tony's not an idiot. He knew who I was implying of. He stopped me dead in my tracks with a fucking smirk on his face. He's like, somebody on the AEW roster, a major name, is going to be doing commentary for AEW Rampage. He said that might have just given it away. And we would assume that the big name who's done commentary before goes back to being Chris Jericho. But Jesse told me that Jericho's not a play-by-play guy. He's a color guy. So we don't know what Tony Khan's doing for Rampage. If he's going to outsource and maybe bring in Miro, if it's going to be Tony Schiavone or Jim Ross or Excalibur. I hope that's not the case, because I firmly believe that we need these shows to be different from what we've got right now. And someone did ask about Rampage, is it going to be different from what is portrayed on Dynamite and all the other dark shows? And he said, yes, he's going to make it different, and it's going to be a big deal on Friday nights. It's going to be live, And the first couple of months are going to be live, and then they may go live or taped to live. They may tape some shows on Wednesday and then air them on Friday. So he said right out of the gate they're going to be live. It's going to be different, but he did mention a major name on the current AEW roster. Major name's going to be doing color commentary or some sort of commentary on the show, but that doesn't really answer the question of who's going to be play-by-play. Mark Henry's
play-by-play, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Henry's going to be an analyst like, I would say, in the role Taz has played, or Big Show, I would assume. So,
right. But put like this: if it's Jericho, he will be the first talent to go out and do play-by-play, because all of the talent that we get, the former wrestlers and everything else, they do color. Play-by-play is not just, hey, give me your opinions. It's a lot to it. I mean, there's a study to it. There's something that you just need to know. I mean, it's not just go out there and give your opinions. You need to know how to make the match flow and everything. It's a skill.
Yeah.
So I thought that they might take someone, because they got like 3 play-by-play announcers on Dynamite. You get Jim Ross, you got Excalibur, and you got Shivani. Yeah. Any of those 3 can be lead play-by-play on another show, with the color. So maybe Excalibur was a wrestler, right?
Yeah. I don't
maybe
know.
Excalibur?
I don't know.
I don't know. But color, if we're talking color, it could be anybody. And Jericho, yeah, there's not too many better than Jericho at color commentary. But play-by-play, no, dude. That's why in every promotion you see, when you see talent go in behind that announce booth, they don't do play-by-play. They do color behind the actual individual who is skilled at that.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got a major announcement soon. That's what he said. I also, speaking of Mark Henry, and I was surprised to see him. He was standing behind me in the scrum, and I'm thinking, now with Mark Henry involved with AEW, I know I mentioned this to Jesse, and I think Jesse and I had spoken about this. We talk about Jade Cargill. I did bring up Jade Cargill in the scrum as well. I asked Tony about Jade Cargill and what he thinks about her ascent with the women's division coming along, and Britt, winning the championship. Not to take away from her thunder, but everybody's talking about how great Jade Cargill is and the potential that she has to be a major player in the women's division. He smiled from ear to ear when I mentioned Jade Cargill, because just by me mentioning him, Jesse, you can tell that they're putting a lot of resources. And he even thanked me for mentioning Jade, because they believe in her 1,000% about where she's going. And, with Mark Henry being involved now, and with her being paired with this fucking geek, I don't even know his name, this lawyer guy, whatever the fuck his name is. Mark Henry would be a perfect fucking person to be in the corner of Jade Cargill. If you want somebody to represent Jade Cargill, Mark Henry would be the absolute perfect guy to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could definitely see that. And didn't she graduate from his school? If I'm not mistaken, I don't know.
Yeah, you may be right. Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. But they might be running into a little bit of a booking problem. If you see where I'm going with this with Jade Cargill, because heel champion Britt Baker does not need to be anywhere in the ring near Jade Cargill right now. Nobody
implied that. Nobody implied that. I don't think she's ready yet. But he said that she's working very hard. She's coming along, and she's the sky's the limit for her. They love everything she's doing.
But now that she's champion, and she, is probably expected to be champion for quite some time, where does Jade Cargill go as far as getting to the top without having to run across a heel Britt Baker?
No, by the time Jade is ready for that championship, Britt's not going to be champion at all.
I mean, and that's the hope. I mean, they have to keep Jade Cargill busy and away from the championship title picture for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect to keep that title on Britt for at least a year. So what are you going to do in that year with Jade Cargill running through the division?
I don't know.
I mean, I just don't know where. I mean, I don't know how they keep her away from the title picture for that long. As long as Britt needs to be champion, unless they turn Britt Baker babyface.
Fans may lose patience. Fans may think that she's ready before she's actually ready, and that may force AEW's hand to push her before she's ready.
I could see that, man, because she's starting off white hot, and she's impressing people. What does she do if she's not going for that title?
I don't know. How many more women does she have to go through at that point? She'd probably have beaten everybody.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and if I'm saving Chris Statlander for Britt Baker, then I'm not feeding her to Jade Cargill first.
No.
I mean, I think they might be coming across a little problem. It's a little bit of a problem that can be easily fixed with the Britt Baker face turn, but I don't think anybody really wants to see a Britt Baker baby face.
You think Britt Baker needs to hold the title for a year? I don't think it needs to be a year.
I think she should hold on to it for a while, especially longer than the last two champions. I think she should.
I don't know, man. At some point, you're gonna have to revisit the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker feud. I think the title goes to Rosa, and then we start building around Thunder Rosa and who Thunder Rosa goes up against. Maybe it's Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill. Maybe they do Thunder Rosa with Jade Cargill in the same vein that they did Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for Thunder Rosa to help Jade go over.
Yeah. That's possible too, but I mean the only way. I mean I don't know. I think it'd be a bad idea to take that title off of Britt, especially when you're trying to get the division up to where you want it, and you want credible champions, and everybody was clamoring for Britt Baker. Shida was just champion for a year.
Yeah, well, she didn't really do much of anything towards the stretch.
Yeah,
last 6 months she hasn't done much of anything.
Shida was a champion for a year. Riho was a champion for quite some time. Well, why cut Britt Baker short? She should be dominant in that regard, and putting her in the ring with Jade Cargill is a big mistake.
Yeah.
So what does Jade do? Do they come up with women's tag team titles in the meantime? No. Women's mid-card title? I mean, not like anytime soon, but in the stretch of like we're trying to put some gold on this woman and we don't want her touching Britt Baker. Do they come up with something for her to do? NWA title, maybe.
Possibly. I could see that. Yeah. But
that could hold them off for a while.
Well, like I said, though, I think Mark Henry would fit into that role well, but he's there for a new analyst. I asked about that. He danced around the question, but we'll see what this major announcement is. I'm just glad that he gave me the time of day and gave that answer, which was picked up by a couple people. Some people tweeted about it because I think everybody who watches these shows realizes that the commentary team is a vital part to the success of a pro wrestling show, and if you're not going to go out and get the best, then why bother? Then we got the main event, Jesse. We got the Stadium Stampede, the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. This was the main event. I was wondering why this was the main event, and after everything was over, I could see why it was the main event. I had no idea what was going to happen. I heard multiple reports that it was all taped. Heard multiple reports that it was half taped, and then there was going to be a live element to it. Jericho in the post-show scrum said that this match was filmed over 4 days. And there was a lot of influence from a cinematic aspect, a lot of movie elements. I don't know what you thought about it while watching it at home, but we watched it on the big screen. The live interaction with the live fans there enhanced watching it on the big screen. Everybody was incredibly involved. I thought this was better than the first Stampede match. I thought this was a more serious take. I loved the aspect of each scene. You had Jericho MJF. You had FTR and LAX. You had Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara. You had Wardlow and Jake Hager. And they all had their different backdrops. They all had their different fight scenes. It was almost like a video game played out in real life. You got your GTA vibe with the bar fight between FTR, Santana, and Ortiz. Then you got your Mortal Kombat aspects, and all 5 of them having different sceneries and different backgrounds. And they all culminated towards the end of the match. It was just a huge spectacle, and the amount of work and thought process that went into this. My hat to Jericho. This was brilliant. I didn't think it was a great way to handle the feud. I was very opinionated about why we doing a Stampede. Maybe they should have did a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match first, and then do Blood and Guts at a pay-per-view to blow it all off. But seeing the way it all played out with Blood and Guts on TNT and then the Stampede match, I'm going to have to reel myself back on it. I thought this was fucking great. This was probably up there with some of the best cinematic matches that we've seen in the quote-unquote pandemic era. How did it come off on TV?
It was shot. Well, I mean, you can tell it was. I mean, to anybody who thought that it might have been live, I mean, you can tell it was cut and edited and pre-recorded. Yeah. And then you can see them getting ready to come out to the live crowd and everything else. But nonetheless, take all that away. I mean, it flowed well. It was fun. I mean, it was really cool. It was, for me, it was everything I expected. It wasn't like it exceeded and went above and beyond, but it didn't disappoint. It wasn't a disappointment. It wasn't like boring. It was a really good match. I think it was better than the first one, so that alone was made it worth the time. I was hesitant to book a pre-recorded match during your first big live crowd like this. I thought it was kind of counterproductive, but that's probably why they make sure they ended the match in the ring and everything else. But I have no complaints about it, man. I thought it flowed well. It was good to see someone else get the rub from the win other than Jericho or MJF. Not too sure why the Pinnacle lost it, because now it just seems like we're back to just the 50-50 booking. We got to do this again. There's no clear dominant faction yet. And now it's starting to get kind of redundant because now it looks like they got to do it again.
Yeah, they will be doing it again. I'm sure that we'll be getting a situation where we get another match at All Out. I don't know if it's going to be another stipulation match. I think I'm kind of over the stipulation matches. I think we've seen enough of them. But as far as what they did here, I thought this was brilliant. I loved everything about this. MJF was standing alone in the football field. He showed up in a limousine inner circle. Obviously, they rappelled down from the fucking scoreboard, which was an incredible sight. So great to those guys that actually had the balls to do that. You couldn't catch me dead doing that, but it was a great sight there. Everybody popped for that in the stadium. It
looked like it got a little botchy or sketchy.
Yeah, I was a little scared sitting there watching that happen, but they pulled it off. There was a ring in the middle of the football field, and Guevara and Spears wrestled there. MJF and Jericho, they were battling on the field for a second, and then you see them cut away, and they start brawling into the office area. Jericho stuffing MJF into trash cans, and MJF threw hot coffee in Jericho's face, attacked him with a telephone. Jericho screamed in MJF's face with a megaphone, hit him with sheet pans. They brawled into another office, which you seen a Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, Urban Meyer, and assistant head coach Charlie Strong were there. So apparently AEW got some big press from that because it was picked up by like major sports networks. So they showed this shit. So good on Tony Khan for calling them up. Hey guys, you want a guest spot in my fucking match with Jericho and MJF? So that was awesome. People pop big for that. Mayer handed Jericho a laptop, and Jericho absolutely
Meyer,
whatever.
Oh,
Meyer handed Jericho a laptop, which Jericho smashed over MJF, broke the thing into in half. He pushed Jericho over some stairs through a table. There was a holy shit quote from Meyer. MJF crawled up to the film room as Jericho pushed him outside. The cameras cut away to Hager and Wardlow. This is the big Haas fight. They were battling in a freezer. You seen what looked, I don't know if it was real or not. From my vantage point, it didn't look real. You got pigs hanging from the fucking meat hooks in the freezer. They were battling there. Wardlow avoided.
Real.
They look real?
Looked real on TV, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell from my vantage point. They looked a little shady there. But Wardlow avoided an attack by Hager, drove Hager repeatedly into a cabinet. Guevara, him and Spears were battling in a giant room filled with chairs. Sean Spears sitting in a spotlighted room, and he's just banging the chair, waiting for Sammy to come in like he was. It was like a final fight scene out of a movie. Looked great. Guevara backflipped at one point out of an attack using the wall. Looked like something out of Mortal Kombat, hitting a thrust kick from the top of a forklift. Spears caught a crossbody and lawn darted Guevara into a garage door. Spears looked at a selection of weapons, almost as if he was at a fucking Resident Evil shop. He's like, do I buy a bat? Do I buy a wrench? Do I take a chair? He ended up taking the fucking chair. So he took the chair. He took there was a pair of big pliers. He took them and he foolishly threw them behind him, which obviously came into play later. So at one point they went for electric cords. Guevara was getting the advantage, choking Spears out. All of a sudden, we get Sean Spears handcuffing Guevara to one of the, I guess, metallic structures back there, some shelving, and he walks away thinking that he got Sammy contained. But Sammy looks down, and the pliers that I told you that Spears chucked away off the table, they were laying right there. So Sammy Guevara ended up cutting himself out with the giant pliers. This was my favorite part of the entire thing, and I told Santana myself on Twitter because he tweeted how great he felt after the match and the reception of it. This was easily one of my favorite spots of the entire night. The bar fight with FTR and Santana Ortiz looked something completely out of Grand Theft Auto. This was the ambiance of it, the club music playing, Conan there. What was your reaction to all that, Jesse? What did you think of this particular scene? This was my favorite part of the entire Stadium Stampede. It was so awesome.
It was. I mean, it felt like I was watching a movie. It felt like it was one big, huge fight scene to a movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when they broke it up into tiers like that, it almost felt like we had like 3 or 4 different matches going on at one time.
Yeah.
So the layout, the way they laid it out and the way they pulled it off was just about to perfection, man, because just when you think you're getting tired of one segment and one area of the building, then they flash to the next and it's all fresh all over again. So you never get bored with the match. It was laid out absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, this was just great stuff. As they all got into the club, they all beat up everybody that was just like hanging out there, drinking there. So as soon as all 4 of these guys with Tully beat up everybody that was just standing about, Tully sits them down or stands them together in front of a table, and there's a bottle of vodka on the table, 4 glasses. He hands all 4 of these guys glasses. They all cheers. They take a fucking shot of vodka, and then they start beating the shit out of each other. We got bottles being thrown, smashed over each other's head. Conan is the fucking DJ there. It was so great. Conan changed the music. Once the music hit, they began to brawl. This was, like I said, something out of Grand Theft Auto. Trash can lid shot from Santana on hardwood. They went for a cover inside a fucking club. It was crazy. Tully was about to attack Santana with a pool cue, but Conan intervened and stopped that. The 2 teams were brawling. Ortiz beat down hardwood, but was interrupted by Wheeler. He started throwing bottles at him. That looked vicious. Santana entered and pushed Wheeler into an elevator, and they brawled as the door closed. We go back to Hager and Wardlow. They start brawling away from the freezer. Hager hit a low blow on top of like some shelving or forklift. Chokeslam Wardlow through some shelving down below. Jericho and MJF, they were brawling in the offices. MJF, there was a cardboard cutout of Shad Khan in the Jacksonville offices. He accidentally punches it, and then Jericho like caresses it and fucking kisses it or whatever the fuck he did. So they sold that cardboard cutout of Shad Khan. MJF hit the offices. They were brawling in one of the offices on top of the table. MJF picked up a hammer. He was about to whack Jericho's injured arm with it. Jericho opens up a cabinet in the office, and all of a sudden there's his baseball bat just sitting there. So he takes Floyd the baseball bat from the cabinet, whacking MJF with it, throws him through a glass door. He gets busted open. Spears was happy about what he did to Guevara. We cut back to Spears and Guevara. Apparently, he's walking down the hallways of the stadium, and he gets stopped by an inner circle motorcycle gang that comes out of nowhere. I don't know what the fuck that happened. He ran away from all that, and we're back into live action. Everybody was going crazy. So my vantage point from where I was sitting, they had a bunch of security guards that were not there at all for the duration of the show. So we knew that there was going to be a live element to this because they blocked off the entranceways to where people would go in and out to the concessions. They blocked all that stuff off. So all of a sudden you see MJF and Jericho battling right above us where we're sitting. Jericho pulled MJF through the crowd and chokeslammed him through a structure. Crowd was fucking going crazy. Guevara pursued Spears in a golf cart, chased him into the venue, ran him over, dragged him from the fucking back to the stadium, to the ring with the golf cart. Great moment there. Crowd went crazy. They were battling in the ring, and Spears, he tried to go for the chair shot. Guevara hit a go to sleep. Curb stomp Spears into the chair. Guevara climbed up to the top rope, hit a fucking gorgeous 630 senton for the win, and it concluded, like Jesse said, with Sammy Guevara getting the victory over Shawn Spears. It didn't end with Jericho and MJF, so the spotlight went to Guevara. The show closed with Judas playing, and the crowd went home incredibly happy, and that's the way Stadium Stampede ended. Probably one of the best cinematic matches that I think that they've ever produced in the pandemic era, and all in all, Jesse, may be the best Double or Nothing that they've done so far. May go down as AEW's, I don't know if it's the best show, but it may be one of the best shows. Top 2, top 3 easily.
It was. It was. It was. I mean, put it like this: they get 3 stars out of 5 just from the live crowd alone.
Yeah.
That alone, I mean, just the energy brought, man, and just everything coming together. They would have had to just stink up the joint to send the crowd home pissed off. I mean, they were just happy to be there and wanted to cheer good wrestling, and that's what the hell they got. They got great fucking wrestling. It was a great show.
Yeah, this was awesome. This was probably I don't attend a lot of wrestling shows, but this was probably my favorite live experience to date. There's a reason why I go to the AEW shows more than I do the WWE shows. It's because of the energy that's there. And, again, I was very fortunate and grateful that I was there with the post-show scrum to see Jungle Boy, Jericho, Baker, and just be there with Tony Khan to see his energy. He's a fan. He cares. And I very much respect what he's doing. And it emanates from him, and that's the one thing that I take away. For somebody to care that much and then see it and just feel it online and see it and sense his words online, but to see it in person, it's a very different experience, and that's the one reason why I respect him and what he's done in the couple of years with AEW. It's just great. It really is.
Yeah.
Guys, that is the review, and I know we got some super chats to get into. I appreciate you guys hanging out on your Memorial Day. I'm glad I waited to do the podcast today. You guys were a great crowd. I'm glad I didn't do it last night, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. We are over 1,000 likes, so let's get that up. We got 1,700 in the chat. Let's try for 1,200 in the chat live today on YouTube for the Double or Nothing post show, the post show. But we got some super chats to get into, guys. Also, follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. It's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. And make sure you guys go check out all the other stuff that you might have missed. I will be back live in just a few hours after Monday Night Raw goes off the air at 11:05. So I'll be right back here for Monday Night Raw as we get ready for another snooze fest, I'm sure. Let's hit the top, man. Kratos with a $10 super chat. Been sick for 2 days, but I wasn't missing Jesse's return. Glad you're back, Jesse. Stay strong, brother. If you ever want to talk about anything, DM me on Twitter.
Thank you. Yeah, again, if you guys just got here, thank all you guys. Thank you so much for all the well wishes. I've seen them all. Even if I didn't get a chance to reply, or wasn't in the mood to reply, I promise you I read everything sent to me or at me on Twitter and everything else. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Kratos. Cool Jags, $1.99 super chat. Hey, JD, just letting you know that I never got my koozie. I got to get Hoop Media on that. You may be one of 2 people that did not get their koozie yet. Cool Jags, we will take care of that for sure. Drew Gilmore, what's up, buddy? $50 super chat. So awesome meeting you and your fellow fans this past Saturday. JD highlighted my weekend. I'll get our picks uploaded to Twitter soon. Have not watched Double or Nothing due to my homework, so I'll save that for my reward after. I'll see you again at All Outs. Drew, it was a pleasure meeting you, man. You were a pleasure to be around. Happy you showed up, and we will be doing it again. I look forward to that in Chicago, bro. Thank you so much, and good luck with everything, man. Wrestling, Jeebus with a $5 UK super chat. Just showing some love for JD and Jesse. Keep up the great work as always. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you and your support, my friend. LJBK, $2 super chat. After AEW last night, I can't watch Raw anymore. Yeah, it's going to be a fucking struggle, man. I'm still feeling the high of Jacksonville, knowing that I got to watch fucking Bruce Pritchard's shit show tonight. It's not good. I actually bought myself a Backbone iPhone video game controller, so I may be dabbling in some Call of Duty Mobile during Raw tonight.
There you go.
There you go. Man of 1,005 holds, $5 super chat. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Awesome pay-per-view. Glad the fans are back. Congrats to the Doctor, Bay. Sting still got it. And the 2 main events delivered 9 out of 10. I can't disagree with you there, man. It's a great fucking show.
Wait a minute. You went and bought a controller for COD Mobile? But you have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have an Android. If you have a PlayStation 4 controller, it's actually the best controller for COD Mobile.
Yeah, I want. The reason I bought something for the iPhone specifically was because I'm going to a wedding in a couple of weeks in Texas, and I need something to do on the flight. And I downloaded COD Mobile. I cannot play with the phone like this, controller-wise. It's awful. So I had to go and buy myself a controller. It looks great. I mean, it feels great. Like I could definitely see myself fucking getting addicted to it.
Do you have a PS4 controller?
Not currently here, no.
Because they make a phone mount for that controller. Now,
really?
I'm not sure about Apple, but maybe it's Apple too. I don't know, but I know with Android, the PS4 controller is the absolute best controller to use for COD Mobile.
Interesting. I did not know that, but I guess I'll go with my backbone. It's sponsored by a lot of the big Call of Duty streamers, so it's got to be a good product. Yeah.
Because they are finicky about what controllers work.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an official. It's an official Apple product, this one.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. Jacob Donnelly with a $10 super chat. What's up, brother? Glad to see Jesse back. You've been missed. Double or Nothing was absolutely fantastic. All hail DMD.
Yes, thank you.
We love Britt Baker here. And yes, I'm glad Jesse is back for sure. Thank you, Jacob. Cold Phoenix with a $20 super chat. First off, let me say welcome back, Jesse. We love you. And you've been missed. And second, it sucks that I missed you in Florida, but hopefully I get to see you soon. Much love to you guys. And as always, and love to the OTS family. Thank you, Cold Phoenix. I appreciate you.
Make plans. If everybody... if you have the ability to, the means to, the money to, make plans to come to All Out in September. I'll be there for sure.
Life After Death with a $5 super chat. Happy to meet you yesterday at the show, JD. Thank you, my friend. I was very happy to meet you and everybody else. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. Trevor with a $9.99 super chat. Prayers up for Jesse. Thank you, JD, for such an amazing weekend. It meant the world to me. The meet and greet and seeing you was perfect. And what a show Double or Nothing was. Are we number one Hoop Media? Trevor, you and your dad were an absolute pleasure to be around. I loved the Atlanta Braves talk. Hopefully we do something with our fucking shit season. But I will definitely be seeing you guys again, man. I love seeing you guys, and thank you for coming out. Eddie Hazard with a $9.99 super chat. Going to watch this stream later because I'm at a birthday party. You're at a birthday party and you're not watching me instead, man? Come on. It better be somebody important. Just wanted to say I love Double or Nothing from top to bottom. The crowd makes all the difference. God bless you and Jesse. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you, brother. Enjoy your birthday party. Enjoy your Memorial Day. The Dud with a $5 super chat. I was live in Jacksonville too, but I couldn't see you live, nor did I attend the meet and greet because I had to take care of my kids. I'm sorry, man. There'll always be next time. There will always be next time. Hooligram with a $5 super chat. Welcome, JD. You travel fast, bro. Glad you enjoyed Double or Nothing. Welcome back, Jesse. OTS got you. No Jacksonville quesadillas for me, though. Man, that quesadilla fucking sucked, man. It was delicious, but it was just too small. But, yeah, Hooligram, I got on a 7 a.m. flight. I was up at 5:30. I got home, I unpacked, cleaned my cat's fucking mess from the last 2 days, fell asleep on the couch for a couple of hours, and did this 3-hour live stream with Jesse. So now I got Monday Night Raw, man. I don't sleep. But thank you, bro. Thank you for the $5, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Nathan Hansen with a $4.99 super chat. It was an honor to meet you at the restaurant. I was the one wearing the black Britt Baker t-shirt. Thank you, JD. Nathan, thank you for coming out, bro. It was great meeting you. Hopefully we do it again soon. Evan, my boy Evan, $4.99. So great catching up with you at Intuition. Wish Jesse could have made it. Fantastic show. Crowd was fired. Just a great day. Thanks. And come again. I will, man. Looking forward to catching up with you again, as it's always a great conversation. Viren with a, I don't know what type of currency this is. It's 449 something. Great show, uplifted by a crowd that would give any pre-COVID crowd a run for it. Good to see you guys as always. Condolences to you, Jesse. Thank you, Viren. Reese, $9.99, simply says pay-per-view of the year. So far, that is the case, Reese. Thank you, man. God Tongue, $5 super chat. Made 2 great new friends for me. Meet and greet. Was a pleasure to meet you. I was The one in all green with the deep voice. Glad you came out, bro. Glad you came out. You made an impression on Hoop Media. I will say that. Appreciate you coming out, man. Uh-oh. Nick Corvello with a $20 super chat. Didn't like the Shida Baker finish. I wish they went with a double turn or Shida winning clean so Britt can demand a rematch for Dynamite, but they did the predictable result, making the whole feud horrible. Shida an afterthought. I don't think that I think that's a terrible take, Nick. I really do.
Sometimes predictable is the right outcome.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with predictable as long as the right outcome. I do think that the match should have been cut down shorter. I don't think they needed to do the type of match that they did for the predictable outcome, but I think everything ended up working out right. Hopefully they build properly with Britt's reign as women's champion now. But thank you for $20, man. I really appreciate it. The Dud with a $2 super chat. All out CM Punk Miro, no doubt. I'm not going into Chicago thinking Punk's going to be there, man. It's just foolish. If it happens, it happens. Miro, I want Miro more than I want Punk. Come on.
Yeah.
Bread Pie with a $2 super chat. CM Punk might be at All Out on September 5th. No.
We're not doing this shit again, guys. We're not doing this again.
No, come on.
We can't do this every time they come to Chicago.
No. Francis Loop with a $10 super chat. I saw the crowd when I watched the Serena Di Brio match. When the camera shows the view of the match with the ringside crowd, you don't notice that you're in Daly's Place as opposed to a big arena. Daly's Place is beautiful. It's a perfect venue, man. It's great sound, great ambiance. Just a great... AEW lucked out so much with that place. When it's full capacity, it is a beautiful place to watch a wrestling show.
When I was watching the buy-in and everything else, I even text you, the atmosphere and the ambiance of Daly's and the look of the live crowd, it had a legit WrestleMania feel to it. With the daytime wrestling and the big fight feels going on. It felt like a WrestleMania hyped show. Yeah. You know, like it was WrestleMania Double or Nothing last night, you know.
Trevor, $4.99. I really said Hoop Media instead of Hoop Media. Jesus Christ, I need spell check, man. Gonna definitely save up and come to All Out with my dad. Bro, listen, I knew what you meant. Hoop Media, I knew you meant Hoop Media, bro. Don't worry about it. Thank you and your dad. Once again, hopefully Jesse and I see you at All Out. Deshaun Turner, $4.99 Super Chat. Hey, guys, the show was great yesterday. Also, JD, did you see the tweet I sent about our favorite show, Raw? No, bro, I've been off Twitter. I don't really care about Raw, but I do know Randy Orton and Xavier Woods have a match tonight. Should be great. Xavier Woods is riding a nice wave of momentum coming out of that great match with Matt Riddle last week. Mike Figueroa with a $10 super chat. Welcome back, Jesse. Miro throwing the snake. Baker hugging Tony. Jungle Boy winning. Triple threat. Sting being Sting and Inner Circle intro were my best parts. Is Omega vs. Jungle Boy a good one, though? Yes. Jungle Boy has proven himself, and Omega's the best pro wrestler in the world. Phil, $19.99 super chat. I can't believe the crowd last night, and you heard it live. I hope AEW comes to Connecticut soon because I have to go. Top 3 matches for me were Stadium Stampede, the world title, and the AEW tag team titles, but it's hard to pick just 3. That's what happens when you book a great show, man. Joshua Snyder, $10 super chat. Jesse, my heart goes out to you and your family. I know what you're going through. I just lost my dad as well. That being said, best moment was Jungle Boy winning and the insane pop he got.
Very sorry to hear about your dad. I wish this pain upon no one. Dead serious.
Thank you, Joshua. And thank you for the love towards Jesse and what he's going through. Juan L, $2 super chat. What song would TK buy for your entrance? I got 2, bro, in mind. Number 1, Power Shifter by Fear Factory and Destroy Everything by Hatebreed. Those are my 2 theme songs.
I'm picking Asshole by Eminem. It's a good song.
Is that a legit name for a song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, there you go. Laura Conway, $4.99. Last night was a great pay-per-view. Hey, Jesse, so glad to see you back. As always, JD, another great episode of OTS. Thank you and love you, Jesse. Thank you, Laura, for the love and support every live stream. Dr. Glorious with a $5 Canadian. Why do Bayley and Michael Cole start to give me Britt Baker and Tony Schiavone vibes? Seems like WWE wants to copy that relationship. We love you, Jesse. I never thought of it that way, Dr. Glorious, but you may be onto something.
Yeah, I don't know. Bayley's been giving Michael Cole shit for a long time now.
Yeah. Magician Sapphire with a $10 super chat. Welcome back, Jesse. Glad to see you doing well.
Again, the well wishes are overwhelming, and I thank you all.
Erasure with a $10 Canadian. Great show, JD. Side question. Where are your thoughts on bringing gaming back to YouTube? I think you do well over here, Jesse. Great to see you back, man. Much love to you and your family. Erasure, I may be on YouTube streaming gaming tomorrow. I'll let you guys know in a tweet tomorrow or during Raw. Mike Figueroa with a $5 super chat. In you guys' expert opinion, what kind of storyline has to be created for Darby, Lio Rush, Jungle Boy to be in a match together? I don't think there needs to be a storyline right now because we don't know if Lio Rush is going to be in permanently, bro.
Darby, Leo, and who else?
Jungle Boy.
Oh, yeah, it should be easy, man. I mean, I would definitely book some kind of futures of AEW type tournament type deal.
Yeah, there you go. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Guardian of Chaos, what's up, brother? $9.99. JD, my man, you're in my home almost every day. Mahalo, bro. Appreciate you, Jesse. You're as smooth as the backside of a spoon. God bless both of you.
Thank you, guys.
Gotta love Guardian, man. What's up, brother? P Mac, $2 super chat. Good to see Jesse. Condolences and love, man. Love seeing the crowd singing along to Judas. It wasn't the same with the jobber wrestlers acting like they were at a concert. Totally agree, brother. Michael Mirza with a $10 super chat. An absolute pleasure to see you on the show. Again, Jesse, JD, and the OTS family got your backs, brother. Wish you well and prayers from me. Great show tonight, and let the Britt Baker era begin.
Hey, I agree. Nobody here is a bigger Britt Baker fan than me, man. I'm enjoying her work, and that's what's important, man. Forget about how she started off. It's where you are, and she's killing it.
Yep.
She's becoming not just she's doing all right, but I can't wait to see what she does next on TV. She's that good.
Cruze the Don with a $4.99 super chat. What's up, JD? Good review as always. I know this has nothing to do with wrestling, but did you hear about Marcel Ozuna? Yes, and he's a fucking asshole. Fuck him. What an idiot. He beat his wife. Right in front of police, he beat his wife. Braves all-star fucking home run leader beat his wife.
Did he get suspended or kicked out the team for it?
Well, he's I don't know what they're doing, but he's not going to be playing anymore.
Really?
They just signed him to a fucking $70 million contract.
Fucking retards, though.
Their season's finished, man. I don't even give a fuck. Kevin Mulvey with a $5 UK. What's up, JD? Big fan of the channel. Keep up the good work. Hopefully, Raw will be good tonight. What are you joking me, Kevin? Thank you for the $5, bro. Magician Sapphire. I said this on Solid Monsters Double or Nothing review last night. Cody is starting to generate King Corbin levels of go-away heat with me. He definitely needs to step away from the spotlight for a while. I could see that. Thank you for the $10, Magician. Daniel Easter Day with a $2 super chat. Hey, JD, welcome back. Jesse, I hope you're doing well.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Francis Loop with a $10 super chat. Don't know if you heard Tony Khan's interview on Friday about WWE and New Japan's partnership, but I loved when he called Nick Khan a con man from Connecticut. It's great to have Jesse back as well. Francis, I said this on the extra. I do not believe the rumors, and Tony Khan kind of made us believe that with what he said at the post-show scrum that New Japan gave him the okay to pretty much shit on Nick Khan. So it is what it is, and cut that promo. I don't believe the rumors. I think it's all bullshit. And WWE, they're only doing it, I read, because they're trying to include Daniel Bryan and give Daniel Bryan what he wants, because he wants to wrestle other places. But I don't know if that's going to include anybody else but Daniel Bryan. New Japan would be foolish to work with WWE. It's not the right partnership.
So would New Japan be the literal forbidden door to bridge AEW to WWE.
Could be.
Interesting.
Could be. Sunny Impact with a $5 super chat. You didn't hear this from me, but a little birdie over in Nashville told me we're getting a certain dragon at Slammiversary next month. I think that little birdie is full of shit, Sonny. And if you're talking about Ultimo Dragon, I would take him over the dragon that you're probably mentioning.
The American Dragon.
Not that. That would be... Do they have fans? Daniel Bryan's not showing up at Slammiversary in an empty arena.
No.
Francis Loop with a $5 super chat. Maybe it's just me, but I love seeing the daylight sky when it's shown during a wrestling match at Daly's Place for the early matches. Me too. I love it. Dayron Sanders, $20 super chat. JD, did not know you was going live today. I went on YouTube looking for the payback, or I guess you mean playback, a few minutes ago, and noticed you was live, so I'm behind. Great to see you. Jesse, I don't know what you're going through, but you in my thoughts. Much love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Dayron, I tweeted out last night, bro. You got to be on Twitter. You got to get with the program, bro. Thank you for the $20, man. Sunny Impact, $5 super chat. Also, sorry about your quesadilla. Avoid the chain restaurants down here in Jax. They suck. Now I know. Now I know. It was fine. The food was fine, but the lack of portion is what got me. Jericho 8131 with a $10 super chat. In addition to Cody being in unneeded filler, the whole American anti-American story is outdated and played out. Did anyone really expect Cody, the All-American, to lose a day before Memorial Day? No. It's ridiculous. It's like Cody made himself the All-American hero on Memorial Day. Just adds fuel to the fire of what me and Jesse were talking about for weeks now.
Yep.
Munchie Time with a $100 super chat. Double or Nothing was a great pay-per-view last night. I'm glad you got to go and experience it live. We're glad to have you back, Jesse. When you're not on the Dynamite reviews with JD, it doesn't feel the same. Hopefully, I'll be able to go to All Out. Cheers. Munchie Time, thank you for the generous $100 super chat. Love you, brother. Hopefully, you can make it out, too. Everybody, with the amount of fucking time I spent in Jacksonville and the time that I had, just a great time. I recommend it, man. Come on out. Let's make it a big fucking party, really. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. Did either of you see the A&E special on Randy Savage? And if so, what do you think? Welcome back, Jesse. I have not watched the A&E specials on anybody, but I'm very curious about the Mick Foley one. Have you watched any of them, Jesse?
None of them. I mean, again, because it just feels like they're not giving me anything new.
Yeah.
I know all these stories. Mick Foley, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, I know them all. When they start giving me new talent that I have not seen a documentary on the network already, I'll gladly watch it.
Yeah. Thank you, Captain. Anthony Hayes with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD and Jesse, my condolences to you, Jesse. I lost someone special in my life too this past Tuesday and couldn't wait to hear you guys again. I'm sorry to hear that, Anthony. My thoughts and prayers with you. And thank you for being here, bro. Jacob Donnelly with another $5 super chat. Seeing Sting last night makes me even more angry about WWE jobbing him to Triple H at WrestleMania 31 when that should have been Undertaker. Bro, it should have been even before that.
Yeah.
That whole vignette with the fucking log cabin in the rain and the fucking mysterious figure walking with the black trench coat, that was all meant for Sting. I don't give a fuck what they say. That was meant for Sting, bro. That would have been perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Hula Grim, $10 super chat. Speaking of Orange Cassidy, you legit have to be really talented to wrestle lazy, as if you don't have any energy. First time I saw him, it was clear he didn't get over because fans have zero brains. I watched Orange Cassidy first time at an Evolve show in Queens here at Club Laboom. I knew he was going to be a great wrestler because it was just different for me. He was lazy, and then all of a sudden he's doing fucking topes and planches over the top rope, running around like a fucking maniac, man. Awesome stuff. So, I'm a big Cassidy guy. I don't care what anybody says. Greatest Fan 18 with a $10 UK. Your point of view from sitting in the audience and Jesse's point of view from watching at home from his TV really made this one of the most unique AEW reviews you have ever done. Maybe I should go to shows more often.
So I can't go down. What the
Well, your eyes will be different than my eyes when we're both watching it together from the press box.
I'll sit in the press box and watch it on my phone and not watch the live show. How about that?
There you go. Noodles the GOAT with a $10 super chat. Happy to see you back, Jesse. We missed you. My question is, does Jungle Boy win the title? If not, who do you see taking that strap off of Omega? I'll let Jesse answer this one.
Love Jungle Boy. That was probably the pinnacle of his career last night. No, he's not winning the title.
No, he's not winning the title. Omega's not losing that title anytime soon.
If there's somebody on the horizon to take it from Hangman, it would from Hangman, from Kenny, will be Hangman. As of now, and even he's not ready for that right now because they got to build him up to that spot. But Hangman could easily be built for that spot, within a couple of weeks. But Hangman Page right now, no one else until they separate Moxley and Kingston.
Greatest Fan 18, $2 UK. By the way, did I get kicked out of the Discord server? Probably not, man. I haven't been there all weekend. I've been busy. I have to check on that. Green Host 2212, $2 super chat. Britt is already a tweener. She got a huge pop. She did. Everybody loves Britt Baker. They have seen the work, and she's getting the reaction she deserves to get based on the work she's done.
Yeah, that crowd last night was pretty much equivalent to a WrestleMania or a day after Mania Raw type crowd.
Yeah.
They're full of smart fans.
Yeah.
Full of smart fans. So, and they appreciate good work whether you heel or baby face. So if you're a good heel, then you got your boos that you deserve. If you're just way too over as a heel, sorry, you're getting cheered.
Yep. Phil with a 1999 super chat. I love the way the Stampede match ended. Sammy being the one to surrender at Blood and Guts. Jericho put the inner circle on the line. Sammy getting the rub, winning it to keep the group alive. Sammy is a major player. You nailed it, Phil. Storytelling. Consistency. Imagine that. Something you won't see in about 3 hours. Thank you for the 1999, brother. Happy to see you here. Ken Lee Pierre with a $4.99 super chat. JD and Jesse, besides Paige, who else is qualified to beat Omega for the belt? On the AEW roster, nobody.
Nobody. Moxley's busy until he's not busy. Nobody.
Tracy Lawrence with a $5 super chat. Summer of Violence, 4 legit rivalries for the summer. FTR versus Proud and Powerful in the cage. We don't need 5-on-5. Jericho costing MJF a match on Dynamite. I could see FTR versus Proud and Powerful regardless. That's going to happen. MJF and Jericho one-on-one. I could see it. But who knows where this storyline is going to take us, man. From Jericho's vibe last night, it's not over yet. None of it's over yet. Red Pie with a $2 super chat. Young Bucks try a Shield powerbomb. Yes, it was hilarious. Justin Striplin with a $4.99 super chat. Love the Warriors movie-inspired gear. The Inner Circle were rocking in the match. Also great to see you on here again, Jesse. We love you, man.
Thank you, guys. Thanks again, man.
Furious Nation with a $10 super chat. What's up, guys? Jesse, happy to see you back and glad you're doing better, man. We are all with you. Double or Nothing was very good. Triple Threat match was my favorite match on the show. I can't fault you for that, man. That was a great match. Drizzy Drew with a $4.99 super chat. Watch it from home, but did they give Shida her flowers after the match as well? Big Shida fan. I know it was special for her to defend it there as well. No, I didn't see any flowers live. No. But she did get a thank you Shida chant as she walked up the ramp when everything was over. So the fans did pay her the proper respect.
That we heard. Yeah.
Okay. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. Do you think Miro vs. Lance Archer was rushed? And do you think they should have saved the match for All Out instead? Thoughts? Well, they needed somebody for Miro to wrestle on this show. Lance Archer was the best choice, but they fucked it up. They fucked up the ending. They had one easy thing to do, and they didn't do it. Now Archer is not looking all too good.
Yeah, they could have progressed so much by just protecting him. I mean, even if they don't go with my idea with turning, but you gotta protect him, man.
Yeah.
You put too much into him. You gotta protect Archer.
Justin Striplin with a $9.99 super chat. I missed out on y'all's Battle Royale discussion, but Jungle Boy winning the Battle Royale surprised me. Was it the right call? I know he'll have a great match with Kenny Omega. Yes, it was the right call because we said earlier, Tony Khan knows what's going on in and around the community. He hears people. He knew exactly if Christian won that match, he would either A, be a heel, or B, it would be too predictable, or both of those situations. And he changed it up and gave Jungle Boy the victory, which made Christian stay babyface, and it sent the crowd home happy in that match.
Yeah.
Just a good decision. Antonio Sanchez with a $50 super chat. You guys are awesome, and you totally get me through my days of chasing a toddler around. Salute. Thank you, Antonio. I appreciate you, man. That's a lot of money. Happy to have you in the chat. Jazz with a $50 UK says nothing. That's a big-ass tip, Jazz. Thank you for tipping the bar and the venue tonight. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. In my opinion, I would think the world title match should have been the main event of Double or Nothing last night. Should Inner Circle vs. Pinnacle be over after last night? Jesse thinks it should be over, but I think the way everything worked out, I'm not going to shit on the match order too much. That cinematic match was absolutely worthy of a main event.
Man, starting to overstay their welcome with this feud, man.
I know. Give it some time. It'll be over. Phil with a $9.99 super chat. Jesse, glad you're back. I may have had some harsh words for you in the past with the heel Jesse stuff, but no, it's all in good fun, and I don't mean anything by it. Love you, and love that you're back. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you again, guys. Thank you.
Nickname My with a $5 UK. Instead of wanting CM Punk, you should tell him that he sucks and he should never show up. Then he does the opposite. No, he'll just block you on Twitter.
Just block you. I don't want him to show up at this point.
Just give me more. Steve Wynyard with a $2 UK. Jesse, love you guys. You're the best in the IWC. Thank you, Steve. Kevin Mulvey with a $2 UK. Loved your Resident Evil 7 game, your Resident Evil gameplay. 7 is my favorite. I love my Resident Evil gameplay as well. 8 was my favorite. 7 was great, but 8 and 4 are my favorites. Edgar Estrada with a $50 super chat. That's a lot of money, Edgar. Thank you, brother. Happy to see you here. What's up, fellas? First off, welcome back, Jesse. My condolences plus prayers to you and your family. This AEW show with fans was so great. Had that Revolution 2020 feel to it. Absolutely loved it. Sting and Darby was my favorite part. OTS is the best. Love you with 2 beer emojis. Thank you, Edgar.
Thank you. Thank you again. No words.
Jonathan Gastello with a $4.99 super chat. Great to have you back, Jesse. My love and prayers are with you, brother. And the tribal chief, JD, headed to AEW All Out. Got a flight out to see you. Jonathan, I will be there. Jesse will be there. Hopefully we get a bunch of you goons out there as well and party it up. Christian Larson with a $3 Canadian. Glad to see you back, Jesse. Much respect. And Munchie Time with, after the $100 donation, he's doing another $5 super chat. Predictions for new talent arrivals at All Out, if there will be a new arrival. Munchie Time, I'm not going to really harp on the new arrivals at all because I think Tony Khan, the way he handled it, I don't want to hear anything. Just usher them out. If they deserve a big fucking debut, then book it as such. If it's someone like Mark Henry and you want to just usher out there as a new signee for, a nice little role like an analyst or something, that's the way you handle it. That's it. I don't want to know anything. Book it the way it needs to be booked, and don't go over the top, because over the top means some people are just going to be left disappointed. Jesse, any final words before we get the hell out of here? Because I got dinner to eat. I got Monday Night Raw to watch to set up for. What do we got?
So yeah, again, I'll repeat the thank you again for the well wishes. I want to give as much of a shout out as I can to the Homewood Suites Hilton in Forsyth, Illinois, or Decatur, Illinois. I cannot believe how much they accommodated me and my family in hosting our get together to mourn and discounting the rooms for my family and friends. And I told them I would somehow get away and get a message out there. And I'll put the name of the city in the chat. The Homewood Suites Hilton. I mean, they were phenomenal. I mean, words can't explain it, man. They extended my stay. They accommodated family coming from out of town. They gave me the banquet hall room for free. Amazing. If you have any way to Yelp or Instagram or tweet the Homewood Suites Hilton, it'd be appreciated because they deserve it, man. They were very, very compassionate and helpful towards me and my family.
That's awesome to hear, man. That's I'm glad that they did that for you. Goes to show you that there's some great people out there in this world. When there's just negativity and some people don't have that going for them. It's a good thing to hear, man.
It's so awesome, man. I mean, words can't explain. They did so much that they did not have to do. I can't even get into all of it, man. They were amazing, so they deserve it.
Well, listen, guys, we're about to get out of here. I will be back tonight for Monday Night Raw. We'll be back in the venue. But Jesse and I are going to get out of here, man. I will let you guys know what the plan is for Friday Night Dynamite, because I'm not missing Dynamite this Friday. I'll figure something out, maybe a dual stream of SmackDown and AEW, but I'll talk about that stuff tonight, guys. I got my cold beverage. The sun finally came out in New York to enjoy the rest of this Memorial Day. Windows are down in the Mustang. I need you to give me those guitar emojis in the chat and that music. I need it on max. I'll see you guys tonight from Monday Night Raw. Thank you for everything, guys. I'll see you later.